Atop the Longevity Palace, Su Xing was silent, gazing at the mountain that rose into the heavens and clouds. Gong Sun Huang sat on his shoulder, also silent. At this moment, a dazzling light flashed in the sky, bright in the black sky. A crimson star fell, finally making Su Xing raise his brow. This was the first starfall since the 3 heavenly books ended. And this also reminded him the cruelty of the final battle. Judging from the direction of the starfall, that seems to be the Azure Dragon Territory's 3 Clarities field. A leisurely voice came from behind him. Su Xing turned his head to see Knowledge Star Resourceful Star Wu Xinjie walk over with a smile. Young Lord, it appears that the Investigative Star's master has finally made a move against Xie Zhenyuan. Do you think it was Xie Zhenyuan? Su Xing smiled and asked. Wu Xinjie nodded. She answered without hesitation. That Investigative Star's contractor is hidden extremely well, even using Xie Zhenyuan as bait. The Most High Path having such a star master perhaps was letting a wolf into the house. With the 3 heavenly books over, he should first kill Xie Zhenyuan to add to his own star energy. If things are as expected, if they aren't, Xinjie, do you think Xie Zhenyuan would still have rescue? Su Xing said. After all, he is the one called Liangshan Continent's #1 star master. For him to say he wants to protect a star general, Xinjie does not believe. Wu Xinjie shook her head. The Most High Path was formerly the head of the Azure Dragon Territory's Alliance of 10, and he was called the most talented star master by everyone. For him to contract a useless star general, the Knowledge Star found this very difficult to believe, but that Investigative Star's contractor was very adept at concealing his strength, a very cautious character. If Xie Zhenyuan was actually hiding some trick, he likely still would not be able to conceal it from the assassin. So this depended on whatever ability this former genius star master had in the end. But regardless, the starfall coming from the Most High Path showed that at least one of them starfell. No matter who it was, they now faced one less powerful enemy. If it was Bing Qingxian, that would still be fine. If it was Xie Zhenyuan, Wu Xinjie felt the situation was somewhat dangerous. With the heavenly books ended, next is the 7 Stars Assembly. Young Lord, have you thought carefully? Wu Xinjie's tone was delicate. Whether or not only 7 can climb the mountain? Su Xing asked. Wu Xinjie's smile retracted and seriously nodded. Only 7, young lord. Otherwise, we will have no way to climb the mountain. Su Xing understood her meaning and muttered, everyone else is an enemy. These star duels still has the leader stars uprising. Xinjie fears there will be even fewer openings. Wu Xinjie thought and said, young lord, should we leak news of Song Qingxi's uprising? I think those star generals will definitely be very willing to work together. No need. Su Xing shook his head. Even if they exposed Song Qingxi's leader star uprising, according to power relationships, the Purple Thunder Monster would probably still bear the brunt. At best, they would unite only to destroy Song Qingxi's faction and then face him after obtaining their star energy. This was quite problematic. I wonder if we can climb the peak together with Qingxi. Su Xing looked at Wu Xinjie. Song Qingxi also wants to end the star duels. Her thinking is the same as ours. But she is an uprising. Wu Xinjie pursed her lips, disagreeing with Su Xing's thinking. We'll see. Su Xing's brow tightly wrinkled. Seeing Su Xing in a headache, little Huang used a hand to help rub Su Xing's temple. Wu Xinjie hopped over and hugged one of Su Xing's arms, her chest sticking closely. Young lord, then let us first go see our sister's heavenly books. N. Su Xing returned to the plaza under the Longevity Palace's stele. All of the girls had already been waiting. Su Xing's gaze swept over them. Ling Yingmi, Wu Xinjie, and the others all had knowing smiles. Gong Kaiwei and Shi were quiet nearby. Wu Xinjie spoke of what happened during the heavenly books. According to Chao Gai's calamity, Su Xing was to comprehend 3 heavenly books. However, even if she did not do such a thing, they had this plan anyways. Their coming star duels during the 7 Stars Assembly would be dangerous. Su Xing would be the first to become everyone's target, so increasing Su Xing's power was priority. And all of Su Xing's wives did not hesitate to show they wanted to give all of their former volume heavenly books to Su Xing. No one had ever dared to think that a Star Master could comprehend 5, 6, or even 7 heavenly books. Presently on Su Xing's side, Wu Exinji, Lining Mei, Wu Siyo, Hua Wanyue, Yan Yizhen, Gong Sun Huang, and Suwen, Hunyangzi, Lu Shaking, and Chai Ling had comprehended former volume heavenly books. Additionally, with Shi Yu and Gong Kaiwei, they had 12 of these heavenly books. This was unprecedented. As young master's first wife, your servant's heavenly book ought to be given to young master. Lining Mei's words were unquestionable. No. In the future star duels, your power will be the most important. Wu Siyo was the first to oppose. Nay, please allow your concubine to substitute for your affection. Milord and I share the double sevens contract and owes everyone too much. This heavenly book should be given out by me. Hua Wanyue's tone was strict. To give master a heavenly book is slave servant's duty. Yan Yizhen bluntly said, Your Highness. Gong Sun Huang tugged Su Xing's clothes, her refined eyes stirring. Bright Star Hunyangzi did not say a word, but she gave a pitiable gaze to her dear husband, as if saying that not accepting her kindness would create boundless guilt. If I do not go into hell, then who will? Lu Shaking clapped her hands together, calmly reciting a mantra. All of the wives were flushed with excitement. Shi Yuan and the others looked on with envy. Zhang Yuqi covered her mouth, mocking herself for being unable to join in on this love rivalry procession because she did not obtain a former volume heavenly book. Su Xing anxiously said, Do I really need to comprehend these 3 heavenly books? Even without the heavenly books? Before he could finish, he was met with Lining Mei and the others' emphatic refusal. Never has this palace seen a love rivalry like this. Chai Ling rolled her eyes. The boatman strode forth. Stop arguing, everyone. It would be better to take my, Zhang Feiyu's, heavenly book. Everyone stopped their argument and looked at her. Lining Mei and the others are famous top-notch star generals. It would be somewhat regretful for any of them to lose their heavenly books. I, Feiyu, also understand your thinking. For your young master to comprehend a heavenly book not your own is somewhat lacking. If you would look upon me, the boatman, and not disdain Shiyu's humbleness, then take this former volume heavenly book, Su Xing otherwise, I Feiyu, shall immediately take Shiyu out of this longevity palace. Zhang Feiyu appeared serious. She had gussed Lining Mei and the others thinking, bluntly declaring her own intentions. Elder sister. Zhang Yuqi's mouth hung agape, not expecting her to speak so resolutely. Shiyu needs your protection as well. Su Xing said. I, Feiyu, shall say once more, if you are Shiyu's man, then you must protect her. This heavenly book is the proof that you will protect her. If you do not, then very well. Feiyu does not want to let Feiyu feel wronged here. Zhang Feiyu stared fixedly at Su Xing, her crimson pupils red as fire, either from excitement or fury. Feiyu, sir has always protected lowly servant. Please do not speak of sir like this. Shiyu was somewhat worried. I will protect her, but Shiyu also has to protect herself. Su Xing said. Lowly servant understands. Zhang Feiyu was nearly driven mad by Shiyu's docile temperament. If she did not do something more, she would be outdone by this immortal hero princess of clothes as white as snow. The woman stepped in front of Su Xing. They stood face to face in front of everyone, their lips nearly touching. If you do not accept Shiyu's kindness, don't think I won't fuck you up, then kill myself. Then, that will make Shiyu regret for her entire life. Don't tell me you don't want to protect her yourself? Su Xing coldly said. Zhang Feiyu bit her lip. Don't persuade me. Otherwise, I'll rape you right now. The Su Xing who met this kind of threat for the first time did not know whether to laugh or cry. Zhang Feiyu clearly knew that Su Xing was a smooth talker and was afraid she would be persuaded. Seeing that he was about to speak, she glared at him. Su Xing saw her determination and knew that anything he said would be useless. At this time, Shiyu softly said, Sir, you risked your life for lowly servant in the White Tiger territory. If Sir does not take this heavenly book, lowly servant will feel she has been looked down on by Sir. Su Xing could only accept it. The remaining dozen heavenly books were offered again. Considering that the Seven Stars Assembly was not some dinner party, Su Xing could only relent in the end. As the first wife, Lin Yingmei was also the strongest out of everyone in martial force. Wu Xiyo and Hua Wanyue were duty-bound to turn over their former volume Heavenly Books to Lin Yingmei. Because Bother had the most special relationships out of all the wives, the former with perfect harmony, and the latter with double sevens, each with their own heaven-earth dark yellow, these heavenly books were not so important. The other heavenly books did not change hands. After they finished arranging the heavenly books, next came the Seven Stars Assembly. When past star duels reached this phase, all star masters would be striving to make alliances. However, with Su Xing's current strength, he needed to be able to have absolute trust in the final 7 stars, to be able to join together against Maiden Mountain. Shi Yu and Gong Kaiwei naturally were no issue. With Ling Yan Princess Xiao Han Yan, they would be 4. The purple firmament immortal palace's fox of voracious admiration whom he was contradictory. Although she had fought Shi Yu before, she was highly principled. Regardless of power or her star general Su Jingshu, she was not a bad candidate. The Crystal Dragon Palace's rumored 7th princess Long Nu was upstanding, conducting herself cleanly. Su Xing had quite a favorable impression of her. Next was Zheng Yinran's cousin, or Bao Xiaoyu, or the Xie Zhenyuan who claimed he wanted to protect a star general, or the contractor of Agile Star Featherless Arrow Zhang Biluo, Yan Wudao, who had great courage when they first met. As Su Xing thought over this, he found that it would be a great pity to be missing any one of these people when contending against Maiden Mountain. If there are more than 7 stars at the end, then Maiden Mountain probably won't sit by and watch. Everything'll be alright, everything'll be alright. Laying on the bed, Su Xing tossed and turned, sleepless. The more he thought about this 7 stars assembly, the greater the headache it gave him. Without her, your lifetime is nothing but a dream of golden millet. Su Xing muttered to himself, recalling Jiang Shueishue's prophecy. If it could be said this prophecy was referring to his progress up to the 7 stars assembly, then this dream of golden millet sounded particularly harsh to his ears. Young master. Lin Yingmei groggily opened her eyes. Yingmei. I won't let this be a dream. Su Xing's lips kissed the girl. Your servant knows. Lin Yingmei's eyes drooped heavily, responding softly. Su Xing hugged Lin Yingmei's beautiful body from behind, their intimacy after making love once again surging. On this night there were no words. Liked it? The situation in the western region's Buddha kingdom could be said to be unstable as of recent. In the 3 years since that purple thunder monster caused a ruckus in the Buddha kingdom, he had seized the Holy 5 Dragons lantern and forced the Buddha kingdom's 6 patriarchs into secluded meditation. Recently, a boy from the empty mountain hidden monastery discovered that their sect's Buddhist ancestor, Great Master Still Void, had passed away at the All-Void Wall. While the entire Buddha kingdom observed a moment of silence, the last 3 of the 6 patriarchs and Samgarama's Chan Master Leaf, Abbess Water Moon of the Mirror Flower Nunnery, and the Dharma sect's era all returned to dust in succession. If it could be said that Great Master Still Void cultivated the Nirvana treasure wheel and flew to the Western Paradise upon a crane, then the other 3 ancestors that followed suit were too great to be a coincidence. The Buddha kingdom's 6 patriarchs were the strongest existences in the central celestial impure land, second only to Holy Monk 4 Noble Truths, the Buddha West approaches. To say that the Buddha kingdom's 6 patriarchs were defeated by the purple thunder monster was fine. Now, everyone dying made the entire Buddha kingdom's populace anxious. Everyone for a time was full of differing opinions. Some said that after the Buddha kingdom's 6 patriarchs were punished with seclusion, they comprehended the Great Way, comprehending transforming star of annihilation. But everyone could see that this was merely self-comfort, nothing more. Others said that this was a trial upon the Buddha kingdom. Some people also pointed out that the purple thunder monster was against the final 7 stars assembly, and to increase his own strength, he infiltrated the Buddha kingdom to do one last thing to the Buddha kingdom's 6 patriarchs, massacre them all. This was proof of that murdering Buddha-chan sect. Everyone knew that the purple thunder monster had soundly defeated the 6 patriarchs in the past and also had the magnificent feat of killing some of the 6 patriarchs. He probably harbored a grudge against the Buddha kingdom, and he honestly took the lives of the 6 patriarchs so casually. For this reason, the entire Buddha kingdom, especially the 6 great Buddhist sects, treated Su Xing as their nemesis. For this reason, nearly 10,000 of the 6 great Buddhist sects' elders and disciples came to the 7-story stupa pagoda to request Holy Monk 4 Noble Truths to take charge of justice for the Buddha kingdom. But this aged old man merely uttered an indifferent, "'Tis predestined," and thus brushed them off. For this reason, the royal family of the Western region's Buddha kingdom's nearby Cold Tang kingdom specifically issued a notice. A combined force of the 6 great Buddhism's tens of thousands of followers and 500,000 elite troops were preparing to subjugate the Purple Thunder Monster. In an instant, the throngs of a monster-slaying conference were in full swing. On this day, Western region, Cold Tang Kingdom, Jinan. The night was cool as water, the moon bright and the stars glimmering. A figure tread upon withered shadows, departing from Jianan's imperial palace. Along the way, it came to 3 Lives River. Your Highness, what matter could be so urgent that you would seek old monks so late at night? An old man with a solemn complexion and profoundly wise eyes slowly spoke. The old man gripped a Chan staff and was shrouded in a golden kasaya, twinkling brightly in the night. He was none other than Cold Tang Kingdom's national scholar, the one who possessed strength on par with the Buddha Kingdom's 6 patriarchs, Great Master Shenhui. The figure was illuminated, revealing Xie Chang'an. Great Master! Xie Chang'an put his palms together and bowed, his attitude pious. Great Master Shenhui slightly smiled, considerably satisfied with the reverence this prince of the Cold Tang Kingdom showed. Chang'an has something to ask of Great Master. Xie Chang'an said, Your Highness, do not hesitate to speak. So long as old monk can assist you, then old monk shall do his utmost. Great Master Shenhui looked at this star master disciple, great love within his heart. He practically witnessed every step of Xie Chang'an's growth up to this point now where he was already with super void early stage power. For the sake of being able to have Xie Chang'an rise above the rest in the star duels, Great Master Shenhui had imparted everything including his cassock and alms bowl, the 8 legions of Naga and Deva protection, Great Nirvana Sutra, the Platform Sutra of 6th Patriarch, as well as other mysterious powers. It could be said that Xie Chang'an's foundations gave him the qualifications to become the newest of the Buddha Kingdom's 6 patriarchs. Originally, he thought they would have smooth sailing, but he never imagined such a defiant purple thunder monster would emerge. To make Great Master Shenhui watch helplessly as Xie Chang'an ventured unto his own doom was extremely depressing. However, seeing that Xie Chang'an still had that optimistic and compliant attitude, Great Master Shenhui's mind was greatly relieved. Only Master can help Chang'an with this. Xie Chang'an lowered his head. Disciple has most recently comprehended the Platform Sutra of 6th Patriarch and wants to cultivate the Dragon Form Prajna 6th Patriarch Law Protection Sutra. Only with such a cultivation can Xie Chang'an possibly have a chance at contending against the Purple Thunder Monster. The Dragon Form Prajna 6th Patriarch Law Protection Sutra? Great Master Shenhui's expression turned slightly grim. This text is Buddhism's supreme power. Where did you learn of this technique? It is said that cultivating the 6th Patriarch Law Protection Sutra grants protection that is not inferior to the Buddha Kingdom's 6 patriarchs. With this, even against Lin Chong, Chang'an would have no need to fear her. Xie Chang'an said, No. Great Master Shenhui instantly refused, his expression very serious. Master, can it be that you will watch idly as disciple dies? Xie Chang'an begged. 'Tis not that Master will not help you. Great Master Shenhui said, but cultivating this 6th Patriarch Law Protection Sutra is extremely harsh. Chang'an knows it requires 6 Buddhas Sarairas to cultivate, only then can it be achieved. Great Master Shenhui said nothing. He merely stared at Xie Chang'an, as if he had deduced something. Chang'an currently has obtained 4 of them by luck. Add on Chang'an's own Buddhist potential, that makes 5. Cultivating this 6th Patriarch Law Protection merely needs 1 more. Xie Chang'an raised his hand. Several dozen Saraira hovered in the air, glowing with multiple colors, forming all sorts of shapes, an extraordinary presence. In his shock, Great Master Shen Hui knew the origins of these Saraira. You killed Still Void and the others? If disciple says the purple thunder monster killed them, that disciple obtained them by luck, would this make it more bearable for Master? Xie Chang'an lowered his head, not daring to look at Great Master Shen Hui's furious expression. You sinner, for you to surprisingly betray our ways in such a manner. Great Master Shen Hui shouted in anger and lashed out with his palm. Xie Chang'an surprisingly did not evade. He allowed this strike to land on his chest, knocking him flying. Immediately, his organs ruptured, his 7 apertures leaking blood. You! Great Master Shen Hui was shocked to see Xie Chang'an unexpectedly not defend himself. Could it be that he was truly innocent? Forgive Chang'an, Great Master. Even in the face of this strike, Chang'an is grateful for Great Master's teachings. If Chang'an can climb Maiden Mountain, Chang'an definitely will not betray Great Master's legacy and will propagate Buddhism through Star World. A trace of distress flashed past Xie Chang'an's eyes, but in the end he still became merciless. Great Master Shen Hui saw that was the feeling a king ought to have. Shuang now! Xie Chang'an shouted. Double clubs Huyen Shuang broke open the endless darkness, rolling out a red flower and white snow before Great Master Shen Hui. The wind and moon unmatched clubs in her hands danced beautifully to and fro, a stunning sight. At the Crystal Dragon Palace, Huyen Shuang took Xie Chang'an robbing other people blind. In addition to the Cold Tang Kingdom's power, the star weapon was now already upgraded to an unprecedented 6-star. No wonder you were able to kill the 6 patriarchs. Old monk never thought your star general had surprisingly upgraded her star weapon to 6-star. Great Master Shen Hui drew a sharp breath. The 6-star destined weapon was also in the hands of the 5 Tigers General Prestige Star. Let alone the Buddha Kingdom's 6 patriarchs, even Holy Monk 4 Noble Truths was in danger. Great Master, apologies. Huyen Shuang spoke softly, raising her clubs. Wind and moon unmatched carved beautiful lights that captured the old man. The purple thunder monster has Lin Chong and Wu Song. Even if Shuang'er is 6-star, maybe even if she is 7-star, Chang'an will not be confident. As a result, Chang'an could only resort to this scheme in order to obtain that 6th patriarch law protection. Great Master, please oblige disciple. Xie Chang'an grimly said. Great Master is like a father to Chang'an. If only there was any other way, Chang'an would not do such a thing to Great Master. Huyen Zhua, old monk would like to ask you a question. Sensing that it would be difficult to escape today's disaster, Great Master Shen Hui instead resolved himself. Great Master, please speak. Can it be that you would betray the honor of the 5 Tigers generals like this? Great Master Shen Hui smiled and said. The graceful woman grinned. If my honor could be traded for His Highness' chance to live, I would be willing. My Buddha of compassion. Great Master Shen Hui put his palms together. Suddenly his Buddhist light dimmed. The Huyen Shuang who had been prepared to use her earth rank was slightly startled. The light of Great Master Shen Hui's life faded like a candle flame. Please look after him for old monk. N. For the first time, Huyen Shuang solemnly bowed in respect. 9th day of the heavenly books. Xie Chang'an finally obtained the Saraira of all 6 patriarchs. Originally, he had wanted to go kill Holy Monk 4 Noble Truths, but under Huyen Shuang's counsel he finally let go of this idea. Holy Monk 4 Noble Truths cultivation was unfathomable, the supreme existence in the Buddha Kingdom. To touch a hair on his head would be to become enemies with the entire Buddha Kingdom, and he resided deep inside the 7-story stupa pagoda. Even if Huyen Shuang wanted to kill him, it was impossible without a heaven rank. However, even if while cultivating the dragon form Prajna's 6th patriarch law protection had Hinayana at the beginning, this did not give Huyen Shuang much comfort. In the Prestige Star's words, the greatest enemy, the purple thunder monster, honestly was an existence so defiant of natural order, he made people feel powerless. Even if Xie Chang'an gathered millions of elite soldiers as well as the tens of thousands of Buddhist disciples, they would not be so useful. Huyen Shuang was tightly grasping the cultivation of her former volume Heavenly Book. However, the two of them were waiting for an opportunity, waiting for the opportunity to join forces with other Star Masters. On the 15th day towards the 7 Stars Assembly. When the second day came, an invitation was placed before him. This made Xie Chang'an and Huyan Shuang look at each other. Huyan Shuang had refined her latter volume Heavenly Book. She was able to sense the presences of star generals within a range of 100 li, but while she indeed sensed her, that was for a mere instant. The other party came and went, practically like a ghost. The speed star, Xie Chang'an, raised his brow. He opened the invitation in front of him. On it were only 9 concise words. All-Star Covenants, Heaven's Sun Mountain, Monsters Slaying Conference. Heaven's Sun Mountain. A towering mountain en route to Maiden Mountain. Because it once had a ley line and immortal qi, it became famous as a place where the emperors of several thousand-year empires were born. Song Qingxi stood atop the peak of Heaven's Sun Mountain, gazing at Maiden Mountain. Compared to the Maiden Mountain that acted as the pillar of heaven, Heaven's Sun Mountain was very insignificant. Elder Sister Qingxi, we just received information from Xingyue. The invitation for an alliance has already been given to His Highness of the Cold Tang Kingdom. We have the Prestige Stars Star Master. How many Star Masters has Xingyue invited already? Song Qingxi returned to her senses, softly asking. The lifeless halls Yen Wudao, the most high paths Xie Jinyuan, the Crystal Dragon Palaces Long Nu, the Purple Firmament Immortal Palaces Humi, as well as that Prince Heng. All of the Azure Dragon territories' sects have been invited. However, it appears that the Ling Yen Princess stands with the Purple Thunder Monster. As Elder Sister has instructed, we did not invite the Vermilion Bird territories Lady Snake Scorpion or the Black Turtle territories Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Xingxiang. Little Sister Xingyue is fast, as expected. Right now, she is currently searching the White Tiger territory for traces of other Star Masters. Xingyue ought to be able to gather them over the next few days. Elder Sister, will those people truly come participate in a monster-slaying conference? The Li Longkue beside her said in a low voice. Clearly, she was not very willing to collaborate with a Star Master. They will most certainly come. Song Qingxi softly said. Has the monster-slaying conference been arranged? Song Qingxi then asked. Elder Brother Lu has made the arrangements. Because the Purple Thunder Monster's power is too vast, Elder Brother Lu is also spurring on other cultivators. I heard that the Buddha Kingdom's 6 patriarchs have been killed by the Purple Thunder Monster. It appears he is truly very unfortunate this time. Wang Jingji was actually somewhat sympathetic of Su Xing. Song Qingxi was silent, but her gaze towards Maiden Mountain became even more profound. Liked it? With Su Xing's current strength that was formidable enough to sweep through the 4 territories, the remaining Star Masters with even just a bit of awareness about the Star Duels knew that an alliance was absolutely necessary. Song Qingxi had Dai Xingyue search out most of the Star Masters that did not have relations with Su Xing and issue them invitations. Even further, she even distributed some of the first-rate magic weapons they had obtained from the White Tiger territory's Demon Kings to Yen Wudao and the other Star Masters of high cultivation. With such a sign of good faith, she believed not a single one of them would decline. As Song Qingxi anticipated, several days after the invitations were sent, a procession of Star Masters came to the peak of Heaven's Sun Mountain. The Purple Firmament Immortal Palaces Humi descended upon Heaven's Sun Mountain while riding a purple cloud. A palace had been erected upon this 1,000-mu mountaintop. Through the blowing wind and shining sun, its carved walls and painted structures had long since been broken. Covered in dust, when the wind blew the dust away, the crumbling fences and walls it revealed showed detailed carvings that recorded bygone splendor. Humi slowly walked forth, her finger tracing along the jade banisters, a reserved gaze in her eyes, pensive as she strolled about the courtyard. Gold Lancer Su Jingshu followed behind her. The girl twirled her 4-star destined weapon, the hooked lance, around in one hand, yet her eyes were full of vigilance as she scanned the surroundings. Jingshu, do you feel we should join the alliance against Su Xing? With a rustle, her feet came to a stop. Humi turned around to ask Su Jingshu. If we follow in accordance with the pattern of the previous star duels, we should. Su Jingshu did not hesitate to answer, Humi, with our strength, we absolutely can scale the peak. But that man who has contracted with Lin Chong is too abnormal. With him around, the star duels are hopeless, but Gold Lancer changed the topic. But that was the approach of the past star duels. The ninth has too many variables. For Lin Chong and Wu Song to be able to find a contractor, there is inevitably a reason why he was worthy to follow. Perhaps it is not simply for the star duels and goes far beyond, let alone, he also has many star masters accompanying him. Humi smiled. Su Jingshu, your thoughts are the same as mine. Humi also feels that Su Xing's star duels have never been bloody. Then, you are saying if we follow him instead, Humi, you may be able to live? Su Jingshu blinked, suddenly discovering the implication behind these words was honestly too cowardly. Twitching her lips, Peh, we do not share much camaraderie with this monster, why must we give P without a fight? Humi was just hesitating over this reason. That Ling Yen princess, the Vermilion Bird Saintess, and the Immortal Hero Princess were all women of that monster. She herself did not have much of a relationship with Su Xing. If she had to be a bit more personal, then this was merely limited to that one time at the Crystal Dragon Palace. But on the other hand, because of that loss in the Longevity Palace she suffered at her hands, she should have been established as an enemy. Seeing her vacillate, Su Jingshu shook her head. It would be better for us to see just what this monster-slaying conference is, see whether or not it can threaten the Purple Thunder monster. Humi agreed. Passing through the ruined halls and flowers, they came to a clearing. A spacious courtyard appeared before them, matted with green grass, bursting with the scent of flowers and elegant butterflies. It was completely different from the destroyed structures. In this courtyard were numerous tables, already filled with fine wine and dishes. Many of the tables were already filled with people. Humi's sudden appearance, her fair immortal beauty and wonderful figure and grace immediately stunned everyone. Humi swept her eyes over them, noticing that the star masters in attendance were far more numerous than she had imagined. Yen Wudao, Yi Fudu, Xen Lao, and the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon were among them. The woman walked elegantly forth to a golden table. The girl's super-void middle-stage cultivation made all the star masters present stare at her incredulously. In particular, the aura of the Su Jingshu following behind her remained steadfast and calm, her pace steady as a rock, giving everyone a deep impression. Fairy Fox of voracious admiration, I have wanted to meet you for a very long time. Yen Wudao rose and cupped his fist. Zhang Biluo disapprovingly twitched her lips. Ha ha, to see Fairy Fox of voracious admiration attend this banquet, this is too gratifying. At least the fairy has not been deceived by that Purple Thunder monster. Another of the Azure Dragon territory's star masters laughed loudly. Humi very adeptly concealed her displeasure as she gazed at that supercluster stage star master. Your servant is Gong Song. Gong Song promptly announced his name with respect. Regarding this star master who possessed the supreme ultimate diagram, he did not dare slight her. If it was not for these star duels that had the Purple Thunder monster, this woman in purple clothes would really have been the Purple Thunder monstress. Fellow, do not be so modest. Humi's tone was gentle. Seeing the Xie Zhenyan beside him was super void middle stage, she was slightly shocked, a meaningful gleam in her eyes. Seeing truly is believing, fellow Zhenyu. Liangshan Continent's #1 genius star master. Humi acknowledges her own inferiority. However, to not be able to use that in these star duels is nevertheless a pity. Humi spotted the Ho Ruolin clutched against his chest sewing clothes. Different people have different aspirations. Xie Zhenyuan shook his head. Zhenyuan only wants to bring Ho Ruolin up Maiden Mountain by relying only on his own 2 hands alone, to let everyone in the world know that even a Star Master is able to protect Maiden Mountain Star Maidens. These words were declared boldly and righteously, making all Star Maidens present shoot glances at each other. Dike, how shameless! Zhang Biluo disdainfully muttered. To be able to leave behind a good reputation for the generations to follow, Humi is wholeheartedly impressed. Humi saluted. Xie Zhenyuan smiled and beckoned her to sit. The Black Turtle territory only had the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and Su Shengxiang as their star masters, but the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was very ostentatious. Li Xiangfei and Humi flanked each side of him, gracefully pouring him wine like imperial consorts, earning him everyone's envy. 2 Supervoid Middle Stages. This Azure Dragon territory surprisingly has so many formidable star masters. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon chewed somewhat indignantly. This is not strange, as the Azure Dragon territory has been the Star Duel's important grounds since antiquity. With our combined strength, we can even face a Super Void Middle Stage Star Master. Su Shengxiang smiled. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon put on a fake smile. Ever since he witnessed this Su Shengxiang's 10,000 souls parasol, he did not dare look down on this woman. Heaven knew what other tricks she had. However, this Azure Dragon territory star master truly has a bizarre personality. That Xie Zhenyuan has contracted a piece of trash that can only sew clothes. To climb the peak while protecting a star general just to leave behind a reputation? Haha, this Holy Lord sees a fool who seeks his own death. Holy Lord, you cannot underestimate him. Li Xiangfei spoke, her brow wrinkled, feeling that Xie Zhenyuan was somewhat strange. I was merely speaking my thoughts. If we truly came to a star duel, this Holy Lord shall use full power. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon said. However, in these star duels, there truly are many formidable star masters. Su Shengxiang sipped her wine. Her cheeks were rosy, but she looked around vigilantly. Like the other star masters, she had come to Heaven's Sun Mountain while being attentive of other enemies. Although this was an alliance, each mind was very aware that after killing the Purple Thunder monster, they would then become enemies. Su Shengxiang was secretly wary. Other than the powerful enemies of the Azure Dragon territory, the White Tiger territories Yi Fudu and Xen Lao were also very problematic. That Yi Fudu was manageable, but Xen Lao was expressionless. There was not a shred of emotion in her. Even when a fairy the likes of Humi arrived, the woman did not so much as blink, merely lowering her head and shutting her eyes in contemplation. The more calm she was, the more unfathomable she felt to Su Shengxiang. Although that Purple Thunder monster has Lin Chong and Wu Song, when we have so many people, why should we still fear him? The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon's mood was splendid, as if he could already see Su Xing's wretched death at his hands. Su Shengxiang inwardly sighed, feeling that the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon was somewhat optimistic. Li Taisui is dead. Amidst the drinking and conversations, Humi suddenly let out a startled exclamation. The others were not surprised at the fox of voracious admiration's shock. In fact, everyone who learned from Yi Futu the news of Li Taisui's demise were all astounded. That scene from Crystal Dragon Palace was still vividly in their mind. The Li Taisui then was unstoppable, no star master could face him. And the Humi who had traded blows with him before was even more aware of this old man's frightening might. Back then, it was only because of that one opportunity to ally with Su Xing that she realized she was not an opponent. She never imagined that Li Taisui would surprisingly starfall before the Seven Stars Assembly. That elder sister Zijin was the absolute as a martial general. To surprisingly die? Su Jingshu was regretful. Fudu is not very clear on the precise course of events. But the White Tiger territory had its own agreement for the Seven Stars Assembly. With Taisui dead, this turned absolutely meaningless. Yi Fudu sighed. More aware of Li Taisui's might than anyone else, he directly felt sympathy for this reason. The White Tiger's 7 starfalls was a major event. Humi had thought. Humi forced a smile. That Li Taisui killed us? Yi Fudu smiled. Never thought that Su Xing's power would already be so frightening. To have so quickly killed Li Taisui and Han Bing before the heavenly books. Humi thought to herself. Perhaps he knows we are forming an alliance against him, so he killed Li Taisui beforehand. If the blue-faced beast had obtained a heavenly book, he would have been in danger. Yi Fudu surmised. All the more reason for us to work together as one. Yen Wudao said. Everyone nodded in agreement. That Purple Thunder monster is extremely cunning. He even drew my imperial sister in like a moth to a flame. Zhao Heng sneered. Prince Highness, Will you not follow the purple thunder monster as the Ling Yen princess does? If you go, the purple thunder monster would presumably have admitted you to the Seven Stars Assembly. Gong Song chuckled. The others placed their gazes on Zhao Heng, their expressions strict. Zhao Heng laughed. This highness is not so stupid. Comparing the purple thunder monster to this alliance here, this highness feels we can kill him if we work together. So what if he has Lin Chong and Wu Song? Can it be that we should still fear him with so many of us here? Everyone laughed. Can you raise a hand against your own imperial sister? One must always pay the price for their own choices. These are the star duels. Zhao Heng slowly said. Well said. Gong Song cheered. As everyone chatted about their experiences in the star duels, it was not long before a cloud of poison rolled in from the horizon. A cart upon dark purple poison chi appeared. The newcomer was none other than Lady Snake Scorpion and her husband, the Rock Demon King. The vast vermilion bird territory has only she alone? Zhao Heng asked. It is said that all of the vermilion bird territory's star masters have been slain by the Lady Snake Scorpion. Humi said in a subdued tone. All slain? There is a rumor that leader Star Song Jiang appeared in the vermilion bird territory, and that she died at her hand. Humi raised her brow. What? Lady Snake Scorpion killed Song Jiang? Everyone was stunned, liked it? Leader Star Song Jiang through the star duels was quite a character. In a tactical sense, she was a key strategic location. Killing her could grant vast star energy, advance power by leaps and bounds. Just that star weapon, Heavenly Star Birth Banner, was enough to drive a mob into a frenzy. Reportedly, this weapon could continuously replenish a star general's star energy. Star generals in battle would consume substantial quantities of star energy, and heaven, earth, dark, yellow techniques would make this even more demanding. To possess a star weapon capable of rapid star energy recovery, this could surpass a magic weapon. It was possible this could even make star generals use their heaven ranks twice. In fact, Humi and the others were skeptical over whether Xie Zhenyuan's powerful cultivation was a result of killing timely rain. Hearing that Lady Snake Scorpion had killed Song Jiang, everyone showed wondrous expressions or doubt. Lady Snake Scorpion did not want to be on the minds of these people. Killing Song Jiang was tantamount to them killing herself. The woman stepped off the cart, her hands leading the Xie twins. She showed a sneer. Heaven knows who started this nonsense. While this lady truly would like to have slain Song Jiang, it is a pity that this lady has merely killed her little sister, Iron Fan Song Qinghua. The 76th ranked handsome star Iron Fan Song Qing? Who else but her? Truly pitiful. Xie Diao twitched her lips. Fearing they did not believe her, Lady Snake Scorpion even specially brought out Song Qinghua's star weapon, Cool Breeze Bright Moon, an exquisite 2-star fan. The rumors that Song Jiang appeared in the vermilion bird territory ought to be true, though. The Xuanyang restaurant even has her poem. Yen Wudao slowly smiled and said, This lady dispatched people to find her, but she was not found. If this lady had truly killed Song Jiang, then would this lady still attend this so-called monster-slaying conference? Lady Snake Scorpion sneered. Exactly. They say that you have killed all of the Vermilion Bird Territory's Star Masters, Queen. That you would come attend the monster-slaying conference is outside of this Holy Lord's expectations. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon grinned evilly. His words undoubtedly gave everyone a hint of disbelief. Lady Snake Scorpion was elegant, her speech sweet. Those people are but trash. Leaving them will only give the Purple Thunder Monster opportunities to bolster his strength. If it was you, would you show mercy? Holy Lord of Draconic Demon. Lady Snake Scorpion's cultivation was far unlike the Holy Lord of Draconic Demon or Xie Zhenyuan, who were disciples of the great sects. She cultivated the Gu arts, had very superficial foundations, and had barely reached Supervoid late stage after killing those star masters and obtaining their star energies. For her to be like this was understandable, but this time, the Xie twins obtained 2 heavenly books. She and the Rock Demon King each shared one. Breaking through to Supervoid would be in their grasp. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon merely sneered. This king shall help you all get rid of the monster. If anyone has designs upon my wife, then do not blame this king for merciless hostility. The rock demon king sternly declared. Although he was a super void peak adept, the threat he posed after the 3 heavenly books was somewhat lacking. If it was not for Wu Dao's orders, Biluo would have you witness the might of her hidden weapons. Agile Star Zhang Biluo made a face. Jing Shu actually wants to experience your hidden weapons. What a bold tone. Be careful that you do not pull your tongue. Fan Ming was disdainful. Before the monster slaying even began, the Star Masters from all 4 territories were already contesting each other. No one was willing to lose this battle. This was a true standoff. No one looked at each other straight. Excuse me, is this the monster slaying conference? Just when daggers were drawn, all of a sudden, a very magnetic voice came through. Everyone turned their gazes to see 2 more people walk up Heaven's Sun Mountain. That man could be described as incomparably handsome. Even women like Humi could not help but be envious. The girl behind the man was even more eye-catching. She was approximately 15 or 16, with hair like snow and was dressed in an ash gray and golden chrysanthemum dress. A straight saber was stored in the opening of her wide sleeve. That man's cultivation was average, more or less supercluster middle stage, but the star general behind him really was like snow and ice, her killing intent chilling. Where has this fellow come from? Gongsong said. Fong Xangu of the Vermilion Bird Territory. The man introduced himself. This is your servant's cousin Yanran. So it turns out the Vermilion Bird Territory had another star master? Haha, nice to meet you. Everyone said as they glanced back at Lady Snake Scorpion. Lady Snake Scorpion narrowed her eyes, pensive. Just as everyone was about to welcome him. All of a sudden, the girl behind Fong Xangu leapt forth, her clothes fluttering, saber light flashing. She drew her straight saber. The 4-star, Jade Dragon Misfortunate Snow, sword was formidable. Zheng Yanran swept the sword, calmly saying, "Whoever is the strongest martial general, please step forth and help Yanran liven this banquet up." Several hundred li outside Heaven's Sun Mountain. Tai Shuwang was currently sitting cross-legged in meditation on a major road. The man's complexion was not good, his brow tightly furrowed. His star general, upright star iron-faced magistrate's clerk Pei Kaixin was currently searching for all star generals in a radius of 100 li of their position. Tai Shuwang had similarly received an invitation to this monster-slaying conference, but he was in no rush to attend. Rather, he waited outside Heaven's Sun Mountain for an opportunity. He had no choice but to do this. Ever since he suffered serious injury and nearly died at the Crystal Dragon Palace, his cultivation was debilitated. Although he had gone through a recovery, he was not completely restored. After receiving this invitation, Tai Shuwang conceived of an idea to use this opportunity to handle the other star masters. Tai Shuwang was acutely aware that his current strength was feeble, even self-defense had become a problem. Even if he joined that monster-slaying conference, he would perhaps be cannon fodder in their eyes. He may as well wait for the other star masters who had received invitations to attend first, killing anyone weaker to obtain their star energy and heavenly book to strengthen himself. Tai Shuwang's method was very successful. Over the past few days, many star masters had come, but his opponents were far too powerful, making Tai Shuwang only able to look up hopefully. Fortunately, the others treated Tai Shuwang as another guest of the banquet and did not strike him down for his contemptible thinking. Tai Shuwang had waited a dozen days like this. On this day, another 2 people rushed in the direction of Heaven's Sun Mountain. Master! Pei Caishuan's eyes moved. Tai Shuwang opened his eyes, also looking in the direction. There were 2 young girls. He could not discern the background of the one dressed in white, but he knew from a glance that she was an insignificant scattered cultivator. The other girl who wore a hair binding was even more pale, a sickly appearance. Her step was unstable, as if she could fall over at any moment. His first impression was that this girl was critically ill. Hinting to Pei Kaixin, he rearranged his clothes and headed in that direction. Monster-slaying conference? These star duels truly are interesting. A boss has surprisingly appeared at the end during the 7 Stars Assembly, making everyone unite. So exciting! Mingxi, we have surprisingly reached the end. However, that purple thunder monster is truly formidable. Apparently, Lin Chong and Wu Song both follow him. How about we follow him as well? No way. Right now, he is so dangerous. Xue Mingxi stumbled forward. She was at wit's end from listening to her best friend's endless and lengthy blathering. Wanjing, I am ill. Can you be a bit more quiet? The lively girl skipped about, turned around and gave an innocent wink. Everything is fine. When you die, I will help you find a good place to bury you. I have underestimated you. Xue Mingxi said powerlessly. Mingxi, what do you say we attend the monster slaying conference? This should be the first time in history a situation like ours has appeared. If those star masters discover our identities, what then? Wanjing thought aloud. However, her volley of questions obtained no response. Mingxi. The girl was very strange, suddenly noticing that Xue Mingxi's expression was stern. Far away, a man and an expressionless woman approached them. This man and you are both sick to the point of collapse, it seems, Mingxi. Wanjing laughed. Hearing these words, the corner of Tai Shuang's lips twitched. He maintained a friendly appearance. You too have come for the monster-slaying conference? Xue Mingxi's raggedly confirmed. Wanjing immediately said, We wanted to come attend, but I did not receive an invitation. We only came after hearing about it. Are you waiting for someone? Compared to Wanjing's sloppiness, Xue Mingxi appeared more steady. Tai Shuang was overjoyed in his heart. With a straight expression, he said, Your servant is here specifically to greet the scattered star cultivators for this conference. Ladies, what are your names? Wanjing. This is your servant's woman, Mingxi. Wanjing introduced in turn. Xue Mingxi nodded. Lady Mingxi's complexion is not too well. Did you encounter some trouble? Just as Wanjing was about to speak, Xue Mingxi lowered her voice. Along the way, we were accosted by an old man whose attacks severely debilitated my vitality. We wonder if this banquet would welcome people like me. Wanjing felt this was odd. Xue Mingxi originally appeared very sickly, but the more she was like this, the more formidable she was. Why would she say that she was extremely weakened? We treat everyone equally. Tai Shuang nodded, even greater delight in his heart. The woman in front of him ought to be the Star Master. With her so weak, that Star General could not easily leave her side. The monster-slaying conference requires all Star Masters to unite. This is your servant, Star General, iron-faced magistrate's clerk Pei Kaixin. Kaixin, let us escort them. Tai Shuang gave Pei Kaixin a glance. Pei Kaixin approached stiff-faced. Just at the instant she drew close, she suddenly revolted against Xue Mingxi. The three-star weapon in her hand, life-death yin-yang sword, released light, a dark technique, unexpected turn of events. The sword light became two fatal yin-yang strikes at Xue Mingxi. The girl's expression was pale, cut down by the twin swords. Pei Kaixin then transitioned in preparation to using her earth rank, Yama Raja law enforcement, to kill Wanjing. According to the logic of the star duels, a star master that was injured would similarly feedback to the star general. With Xue Mingxi dead, that Wanjing could not counter. Because Tai Shuang was heavily injured and very weak, Pei Kaixin also used full power, not daring to neglect anything. Yama Raja law enforcement directly surrounded Wanjing, but just as the earth technique was about to attack, all of a sudden, a white light exploded from Wanjing's body. Tai Shuang saw that Xue Mingxi waving a white banner, and his expression suddenly changed. Good and evil karma banner? You are the Star General, Sick Tiger. You have evil thoughts, do not blame me for dispatching you. Xue Mingxi indifferently said. The good and evil karma banner's earth rank, evil has its retribution, flashed a white light. Pei Kaixin suddenly felt her body racked by intense pain. The earth rank she previously used against Wanjing immediately stalled. That earth rank was only half activated. But the Wanjing that was attacked had instead become even more ferocious. When Tai Shuang saw they had been deceived, he immediately used the 9-layered absolute destruction sword array, but the other lively and naive girl changed from her normal state. her hair standing on end. Damn you, die! Wanjing beckoned with her hand, and 10,000 arrows appeared in the space behind her. Those arrows were each unique in shape, each with their own merits. Astonishingly, this was the star weapon, under Heaven Arrow Force. Tai Shuwang was shocked. Speed Star Arrow hit Tiger Ding Di Sun, you are a Star General too. The last Star General is here. Xue Mingxi waved her white banner. Ding Wanjing giggled. Earth rank, all stars kill moon. Tai Shuwang screamed. The 10,000 arrows all fired. How could he have stopped this? All his hopes turned to dust, and he was frightened stiff. Originally, he had meticulously planned everything solely to become the overlord. After the heavenly books passed, this would be the great undertaking of his life, but then he took an arrow to the knee. Liked it? Dusk colored the sky, and the glow of sunset was like blood filling the horizon. Song Qingzi leaned on a railing at the Nine Dragons Palace, awaiting news from Heaven's Sun Mountain. In another secret room, 9 tattooed dragons and sword star Wanjiner were seizing the time to refine their 3 heavenly books. At this moment, a crimson star fell into her view. Song Qingzi knew that to make the Star Masters unite for a common purpose was an extremely difficult matter. What she was most anxious about was a malicious and arrogant Star Master seizing the chance to raise a hand against the other Star Masters to bolster their own strength. And what she was most anxious about had finally come to pass. Song Qingzi rose, her expression somewhat grim. The Li Longkue who had been nearby refining her 3 heavenly books also opened her eyes. Elder sister. Song Qingzi's brow was tightly wrinkled. Not long after, a piece of news arrived. A scattered star cultivator from the Vermilion Bird territory has arrived at Heaven's Sun Mountain with fair-skinned gentleman Jing Yanran and started a fight with the others. Fair-skinned gentleman? Song Qingzi vaguely recalled that Dai Xingyue had described her once before. It seemed that little sister's Star Master was a very handsome beauty. However, considering that he had come from the Vermilion Bird territory, he ought to not have any relationship with the Purple Thunder Monster in order to have obtained an invitation in the first place, but she never expected that little sister would be so outrageous, to take action in front of everyone's eyes. Was she the one whose star fell? Song Qingzi asked. Wang Jingji replied, No, I hear this Jing Yanran's martial arts are very formidable. She has surprisingly defeated Suo Qingshuang, Fan Ming and more. This starfall seems to be in the vicinity of Heaven's Sun Mountain. Sister Xingyue has already gone to investigate. Hearing that this was not related to the banquet, Song Qingzi was clearly relieved. That Jing Yanran is causing a ruckus. Elder sister, what do you feel? Her martial arts in this generation are exceptional. Let us wait and see for now. Song Qingzi thought. Gathering the Star Masters of the 4 territories together, each harbored evil designs. To have one target that concentrated malice was according to her plans. Elder sister. Wang Jingji continued. Song Qingzi said, Little sister, is there something else? We already have news about handsome Star Song Qing that you requested we be mindful of. Wang Jingji said. She met with misfortune? Song Qingzi was quiet. Wang Jingji nodded and relayed Lady Snake Scorpion's words to Song Qingzi. The leader star showed grief. She had once searched for the handsome star's whereabouts in the Vermilion Bird territory, but Liangshan continent was so vast, to search for a single target was not easy. Even after discreet inquiries in so many directions, she never learned a thing. Although Song Qingzi had already prepared for the worst, to hear that handsome Star Song Qing's star fell instantly made her downcast. Elder sister. Elder sister. Wang Jingji called out. Li Longkue snorted. The tall woman lifted her bereaved immortal lofty slaughter and was about to walk outside. Longkue, stay. Song Qingzi returned to her senses and said in a low voice. Black Whirlwind Li Longkue turned around and said, Elder sister, Longkue will kill that snake scorpion woman to avenge little sister. Avenge? Song Qingzi forced a smile. Then will you kill Yen Wudao, who me and the others, Longkue? Will you kill Su Xing? They are preventing elder sister from accomplishing her great undertaking. They should all die. Li Longkue's voice was like iron. Her determination actually made Song Qingzi gratified. If we could kill them, then we could go take revenge right now. But, shaking her head, the leader star's voice turned much gentler. But our strength right now is still not enough. Which of the 108 star generals is not our sister? Can killing those star generals avenge them? Then, elder sister, your meaning is? Ascend the mountain. We must ascend Maiden Mountain. Song Qingxi's picturesque pupils released an indescribable luster. Wang Jingji felt this was the leader star she wanted to see. What elder sister says is very sensible, Sister Longkue. Do not be impulsive, otherwise, we will have wasted the sacrifice of our sisters. Wang Jingji urged as well. Li Longkue ground her teeth, finally retracting the bereaved immortal lofty slaughter. However, elder sister, those star masters are all proud and arrogant. To forge the monster-slaying alliance, who shall take the lead? I fear it will be very difficult for elder brother Lu to do so. Wang Jingji was still somewhat worried about this. According to the plan, Song Qingzi would not make an appearance at the monster-slaying conference, but those star masters would not cooperate without a leader. Song Qingzi was also vexed over this. Just at this moment, a ray of golden light appeared out of thin air. The form of colored glass and the scent of lotus flowers manifested. Chao Gai emerged from within. Seeing her appear, Li Longkue, Wang Jingji, and the others were startled. Even the Shi Jingluan and Sword Star that were refining heavenly books in the secret room were disturbed and charged in. Leader Star Song Qingzi was contrarily very calm. She smiled gracefully. Chao Gai, what brings you here? This one has come to help you this time. Chao Gai loftily said. Help your servant? Are you not afraid of breaking the Star Duel's rules? Song Qingzi smiled and said. At this time, discussing rules was apparently somewhat ridiculous. In the 9th Star Duels, the so-called rules had already changed beyond recognition. Chao Gai smiled. This one does not want to. But breaking the rules is not out of the question this time. There is someone who will appear to help lead your monster-slaying alliance. Who? She has already gone there. She ought to be able to help you. However, the final result will depend on your own luck. Leader Star Protector of Righteousness Song Jiang. Chao Gai stared at her meaningfully before finally disappearing. Heaven's Sun Mountain. When Lu Tianya brought Dai Xingyue over in a rush, the banquet had already devolved into a mess. The scene appeared quite chaotic. The sight that entered his eyes was a young girl in white clothes and a golden chrysanthemum dress, with hair like snow, and a straight saber in her hand that similarly surpassed frost. He saw this girl's spry body techniques, her dazzling straight saber, the snow-white light from her sword tip, her flowing and calm movements. The one who faced her was the famous gold lancer Su Ning. Blade light flooded out. The armor on Su Ning released golden light, melting this saber chi away. Su Jingshu's hooked lance whistled about, fully displaying her spearmanship. Each attack was like a swelling tide, shaking the banquet. Your distinguished self has formidable saber technique. To think that you were surprisingly the different star, truly exceptional. Su Jingshu fought with immense fulfillment, laughing aloud. Zheng Yanran's eyes were tranquil, continuously catching Su Jingshu's spear attacks. Su Jingshu suddenly thrust her spear, brushing across Zheng Yanran's right side. The different star's feet slid, and she gripped her saber's hilt. She countered with a saber drawing water breaking. Saber light flowed out directly, hacking upon Su Jingshu's armor. If she was a normal star general, this attack would have already injured her, but the gold lancer who possessed the goose feather ring gold armor and a powerful defensive innate skill was merely jolted. Zheng Yanran snorted, spinning to continue her assault. Zheng Yanran was a challenger. The other star masters were all spectating, watching the show. This must be an abnormal earthly star? What powerful martial force! Biluo, are you all right? Yen Wudao gazed at Featherless Arrow. Zhang Biluo had been defeated by Zheng Yanran, but that was because that accursed fair-skinned gentleman suddenly launched a sneak attack on her. Zhang Biluo was too late to defend and was cut down. Normally, she would want to test a concealed weapon sneak attack, and this nearly drove Zhang Biluo mad. If this was not a banquet for facing the purple thunder monster, Yan Wudao would have already taken action. Of course, not only Featherless Arrow, but Zhao Heng's Star General Impatient Vanguard Suo Qingxuang, the Holy Lord of Draconic Demons Demon King of Chaos Fan Ming, Gong Song Stream, Leaping Tiger Chen Zhanlu and more were all defeated. The other Star Masters were captivated by Jing Yanran's gorgeous figure. The girl's snow-white hair and fluttering clothes filled their eyes. Shuang'e, how many blows do you feel you need to be able to defeat her? Xie Chang'an asked. 5 Tigers General Huyen Shuang pursed her lips. She is a competitive little sister. I am a bit reluctant to defeat her. However, he is surprisingly able to trade blows with Su Jingshu for so long. This is very impressive. Huyen Shuang had an unprecedented 6-star destined weapon. In this banquet, she could practically be said to be unequaled. The sole person who Huyen Shuang might be some trouble was only Su Jingshu. Regardless of whether it was Gold Lancer or her Star Master Hu Mi, both were formidable opponents. If they could kill the Purple Thunder Monster, there would be no doubt that she would then be the greatest hurdle. Huyen Shuang was also carefully watching Su Jingshu and Zheng Yanran's battle, unsure if this Su Jingshu was holding back or something. Although she was somewhat unfathomable, the two of them fought with exceptional brilliance, making everyone treat this as a show in the banquet. They watched with great satisfaction, so much so that they overlooked Zheng Yanran's stern gaze. Please stop, you two. Lu Tianya interrupted them, but seeing that their martial arts were extraordinary, this sword saint hesitated a moment, not daring to act. This is not the time to be fighting. Lu Tianya called out loudly. Jingshu. Whom he said softly. The Su Jingshu who had just suppressed Jing Yanran curled the corner of her lips. Little sister's martial arts are pretty good. Your servant shall end the lesson here for now. Saying this, she withdrew. Zheng Yanran coldly said, Then Yanran shall see you off. Saber light flashed, drawing an erratic, ribbon-like flash. It exploded with a bang against Su Jingshu's shoulder. The woman was startled, looking flabbergasted at an ice-cold slash wound across her shoulder. But Gold Lancer merely smiled and then nodded, spotting a difference in Jing Yanran's step. She did not retaliate, instead, slowly retreating to Hu Mi's side. Zheng Yanran stopped and sheathed her blade. Ladies, you two are truly in good spirits. In the future, we must face the Purple Thunder Monster. Opportunities to learn from each other will still be ample later. Right now, we must properly sit down and discuss this monster-slaying conference. Lu Tianya showed a self-confident smile. Ha ha ha, you are the leader of the monster-slaying conference? Respect, respect. Fang Xianggu cupped his fist. Your servant is indebted to everyone for coming. Lu Tianya looked all around the banquet and saw that most everyone had arrived. Just as he was about to speak about the monster-slaying conference, suddenly, Zheng Yanran walked over with footwork like running water. Wait up, Yanran has a question to ask you. What question? The 7 Stars Assembly altogether has 7 people. The Purple Thunder Monster is only one person. Is he worth us working together to kill him? Zheng Yanran gripped her saber's hilt, speaking as she stepped forth. Indeed, but only one overlord can be at the top of Maiden Mountain. What point is there in the 7 Stars Assembly? Everyone must agrees with your servant's words? Lu Tianya asked. Everyone agreed. Yanran actually feels that Purple Thunder Monster may not necessarily care to be the overlord at all. Are Lin Chong and Wu Song following him not the greatest evidence? Yanran does not believe they follow him simply for this overlord title. Cousin, what say you? Zheng Yanran turned her head and sweetly smiled. Cousin, your words make sense. Your servant also thinks this is the case. Fang Xianggu nodded. How can you have faith in that monster? Lu Tianya sneered. Yanran has a way to make him have faith. What way? Zheng Yanran's smile was like a flower, full of charm. The girl suddenly drew her blade, saber light erupting at once. Snow light flowed in all directions, and an extreme cold froze the entire area's time and space. Lu Tianya has moved unhindered his entire life, but he was unable to match the girl's draw speed. A white line like a tidal wave passed in his eyes. The wings of true phoenix sprouted from Zheng Yanran's snow-like back, her rampage 100 times more arrogant. The girl gently curled her red lips. Lu Tianya heard the 4 last, as well as the 4 most hair-raising, ice-cold words in this life. True Phoenix Realm, Earth Rank. No snow under heaven. Liked it? Although this attack was abrupt, the Super Void Sword Saint Lu Tianya was not without defenses. He had merely miscalculated completely that the different star would surprisingly be able to reach True Phoenix Realm. When Zheng Yanran's blade approached, the Super Void Sword Saint's vigilance and defenses became futile and ridiculous. The snowy saber light passed through his neck, sending Lu Tianya's head flying high above his body. In a split second, Lu Tianya's line of sight beheld an unprecedented, tall and far view. In the far-off direction of Maiden Mountain, those eyes seemingly caught sight once more of the previous Star Duel's leader Star Song Yoyu, the moment of her magnificent dance and glittering death. It was at that moment he made his aspiration. He would personally send Song Qingxi up Maiden Mountain. He would not even hesitate to become her stepping stone to do it. The Star Duels were filled with danger at every step. Burying countless delusions and fantasies, Lu Tianya in the end was unable to achieve his wish. He was simply another person buried among many others. And the fair-skinned gentleman Zheng Yanran coolly and mockingly left him one final message. I'll be borrowing your head. Zheng Yanran sheathed her blade. Lu Tianya lost his life. Dai Xingyue was scared witless, unsure of what to do. Zheng Yanran coldly scowled, attacking with another saber drawing water breaking. Dai Xingyue was very swift with her reactions, fleeing with her formidable speed, but she was still heavily injured by this attack. Before Zheng Yanran could give chase, at this moment, the others got up in a flash. If it could be said they treated fair-skinned gentlemen's previous fights a moment prior as entertainment for the banquet, then at this moment, when the girl exposed her true Phoenix Realm, all Star Masters present were in awe. True Phoenix Realm. How is this possible? She has refined a former volume heavenly book. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, Yi Futu, and others swiftly reacted. At the moment Lu Tianya's head fell, Li Xiangfei, Hao Bingxin and the other star generals immediately took action. The Star Masters themselves utilized their sword chants. Zheng Yanran, who had killed the monster-slaying conference's organizer, revealed a sneer of satisfaction. She was very aware that she alone was unable to contend against all the Star Masters here. After she grabbed the head, she said without a moment's hesitation, "Cousin, let's beat it." Fang Xianggu had long been prepared for this. When he received the invitation for the monster-slaying conference, he and Zheng Yanran had already planned to kill the monster-slaying conference's leader. After all, Fang Xianggu was well aware of Su Xing's identity as the legendary and fearsome Purple Thunder Monster. In his own perspective, he was more inclined to believe the title of Purple Thunder Saint. His Divine Travel Heaven-Earth Talisman activated. Clear light flashed, and Fang Xianggu and Zheng Yanran escaped down Heaven Sun Mountain. "Where are you running?" The Rock Demon King roared, activating his great rock flies across 90,000 li to give chase. The others drew their blades one after another in pursuit of Fang Xianggu. The bustling monster-slaying conference very quickly became cold and cheerless, leaving only 2 aloof people. One was the Purple Firmament's immortal palace's Humi, and the other was Xen Lao, who was as immovable as a mountain. "Humi," Su Jingshu called in a low voice. Humi wrinkled her brow tightly. She glanced at Xen Lao then whispered, "This different star has surprisingly reached True Phoenix Realm. That she would surprisingly stand on Su Xing's side is inconceivable. With this monster-slaying conference's leader dead, it appears that it will become a sheet of loose sand, fraught with internecine strife." Jingshu. Su Jingshu was silent for a moment then nodded. Since this monster-slaying conference was unable to be realized, then they could only throw their lot in with the Purple Thunder Monster. Just as Humi rose to leave for this reason, all of a sudden, a powerful outburst exploded at the bottom of the mountain. A magnificent true phoenix wing fanned out, stronger than Zheng Yanran's by several fold. "Humi!" Su Jingshu and Humi glanced at each other in dismay. "Let us go look." Humi waved her sleeve. Purple clouds gathered, and she rushed down the mountain. Xen Lao was still expressionless, but General of Heavenly Vision Peng Fei had already come out of the star nest. The girl activated her heavenly vision and stared down the mountain. She was suddenly astounded. What is that person? Fang Xianggu had activated the divine travel heaven-earth talisman. Even the rock demon king could not easily sense him. And with Zheng Yanran's true phoenix realm, even if he caught up, he would have to be careful. As planned, although Fang Xianggu's cultivation was only supercluster stage, he escaped very successfully. A crowd of insignificance bothered raising a ruckus about monster slaying. Zheng Yanran was disdainful when she spotted the foot of the mountain. At this moment, a white shadow scuttled over without warning. This white shadow was abnormally fast. If it was not for Zheng Yanran's completely unleashed true phoenix realm, she would have been struck. The girl countered with her saber when she saw a white and red staff. Staff and saber clashed, like a surge of drumbeats. The Zheng Yanran that initially thought she could repel the attacker with one attack immediately perceived a powerful force transmitted through the staff. Zheng Yanran showed a bit of astonishment. Her clothes fluttered as she glided backwards. A tall and beautiful woman descended, standing before her. Pay murder with life, this is heaven's law and earth's principle. To run off like this, I cannot abide. That woman was as beautiful as snow lotuses, unstained by dust. Her legs were slender, like beautiful jade. White clothing of silk thin as a cicada's wings wrapped her body, making her jade body vaguely visible and flowing with allure. On the woman's back was a flaring true phoenix realm wing. Clearly, she was a star general. But the staff in the woman's hand had no name at all in Zheng Yanran's memory. Who are you? Zheng Yanran subconsciously asked. The woman slightly smiled, breathtaking. Seeing her not reply, Zheng Yanran sneered. Yanran shall see what capability you have for heaven's law and earth's principles. Although the opponent's realm was higher than hers, Zheng Yanran was contrarily even more excited. Her hand gripping the jade dragon misfortunate snow, her body techniques shifted. Saber-light as biting cold as the rain sprinkled down. The woman raised her staff to meet it. Saber and staff issued sparks. The two traded a dozen blows. The woman appeared very easygoing, but to leisurely take Zheng Yanran's chilling swordsmanship was nevertheless not too easy. As an earthly star, to have this level of martial arts, you are impressive. But it is a pity that you have hurt yourself by following a useless sissy. With these words, the staff swept out. Killing intent surged and drew Zheng Yanran in. The staff techniques passed like phantoms, and Zheng Yanran was unable to ward them off, being struck consecutively. Hey! Zheng Yanran grit her teeth, slashing again. But the instant her sword tip touched the woman, the opponent's body seemed to become like a feather, brushing past. This made Zheng Yanran's attack that seemed to hit actually land on nothing. What body techniques are these, to surprisingly evade her true Phoenix realm attack? A layer of cold sweat flowed from Zheng Yanran. Yanran shall pay with her life here. Next time, it will be your turn. Zheng Yanran sneered. The woman smiled and said, Your open-mindedness in seeking martial arts instruction impresses me. What a pity that you nevertheless chose the wrong person. Although that purple thunder monster is strong, he is doomed to be destroyed. Zheng Yanran disdainfully snorted. The woman's hand gripped her staff, suddenly shooting forward like an arrow. There is no next time. Zheng Yanran suddenly felt foreboding. Her straight saber swiftly slashed, a cold and elegant as snow saber light filling the world. But her opponent quickly evaded, still leaping past Zheng Yanran and mercilessly fighting her. Then she shook her staff. Two rays of chi flew out from left and right, closing in like a net. Dark rank, 2 character heart weight. There was the sound of bone breaking. The staff chi directly knocked a person out of invisibility. Astonishingly, it was Fang Xianggu. Although his divine travel heaven-earth talisman's speed was extremely formidable, it nevertheless did not hide him from her eyes. The spiritual power in Fang Xianggu's body dissipated. He felt dizzy. Cousin. Zheng Yanran's face paled. The woman nevertheless did not finish Fang Xianggu off. I do not kill women. Her staff rose, flinging Fong Xianggu high. No snow under heaven. Zheng Yanran drew her saber, uttering a thunderous roar. The world seemed to freeze. The woman stared and shook her head. A pity you misfollowed a useless master. When Fong Xianggu was tossed into the air, the Rock Demon King and Holy Lord of Draconic Demon were already rushing over. Although the woman did not kill Fong Xianggu, she would not allow a menacing martial general like her to leave. She merely left the generous gift of a Star Master to the others. To kill a true Phoenix Realm Martial General's contractor was undoubtedly enticing for any Star Master. No one would let go of this opportunity. Suddenly, evil faces welcomed him, showing malevolent expressions. Each contractor and cultivator spared no effort to increase their strength. Everyone used full power to kill Fong Xianggu. Great Rock catches dragon. The Rock Demon King pushed a palm out, sucking Fong Xianggu into his palm to hand over to Lady Snake Scorpion. He was able to seize the initiative with his powerful Super Void Peak cultivation power. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon, Yan Wudao, and Xie Zhenyuan's flying swords followed close behind, unwilling to give up. Just as Fong Xianggu was in the Rock Demon King's clutches, this world abruptly dimmed and drained of color. Countless ghosts suddenly emerged, filling the universe. The Rock Demon King's power seized a bunch of these specters. Sensing that these ghosts surprisingly had the power to consume his mind, the Rock Demon King evaded in shock. Black chi poured in every direction, instantly wrapping around Fong Xianggu. The Holy Lord of Draconic Demon and others' powerful flying swords could only stand by, not daring to approach. 10,000 Souls Parasol. The Rock Demon King's complexion was ashen. Everyone turned their heads to look. They saw a slightly charming girl in black clothes with vein patterns gracefully open a parasol. Her hands were white, her cheeks rosy, and her black eyes glinting. She was quite dazzling. Su Shengxiang. When the 10,000 Souls Parasol emerged, the others did not dare contest her. If they were not careful, they would be devoured by the 10,000 souls, a gain that did not make up for the losses. Cousin, run away. Fong Xianggu's face was drained of color. With his supercluster cultivation, there was no way for him to break free of the 10,000 parasols. He cast Zheng Yanran a worried glance and was suddenly rolled in by black souls. Su Shengxiang closed the parasol. The evening sky was the color of blood, but Fong Xianggu was already no more. Zheng Yanran vomited blood. Her figure tottered, and she knew that Fong Xianggu had met his end. No snow, under. Zheng Yanran tearfully drew her saber and slashed at the woman in white. If it was not for her sudden appearance, the entire plan would have been quite perfect. The tall and graceful woman pursed her red lips. Her jade body swayed, her white clothes fluttered, meeting the different stars completely imposing slash without fluster. I am Heavenly Scholar Star Scholar in a white robe Wang Lun, Wang Lingji. Remember this. Wang Lun. When Humi reached the foot of the mountain, the scene that greeted her was the instant Su Shengxiang opened the 10,000 souls parasol to absorb Fong Xianggu. The fox of voracious admiration had just been about to intervene. When she heard Wang Lun's name, she forcibly suppressed her sudden astonishment, freezing on the spot. Heavenly Scholar Star Wang Lun? Scholar in a white robe, what is going on? Maiden Mountain had a star general like this? Everyone froze, breaking out into cold sweat, staring at Wang Lingji half convinced, half skeptical. They did not dare be careless. Wang Lingji ended her smile. From this moment forth, allow me to lead the monster-slaying conference. I will train your martial generals to true Phoenix Realm N. Without this realm, facing Lin Shong and Wu Song would be the joke of the heavens. Everyone was shaken. Meanwhile, far, far to the east, atop a magnificent and enormous palace over the 9 firmaments, the Su Xing that had just finished refining the former volume Heavenly Book quietly opened his eyes from his meditation. Liked it? Relying on his abnormal star nest divine intent, Su Xing very quickly refined the former volume Heavenly Book. Right now, his cultivation had already reached Super Void Peak. Across the previous star duels, he was one of its most outstanding. With strength like this, ascending Maiden Mountain was in the bag, but Su Xing did not feel at ease, nor did he believe victory to be in his grasp. Following the heavenly books, a crimson star fell. In his mind, there was a slight haze that he was unable to brush away. After leaving seclusion, the Longevity Palace was still methodically expanding towards the final summit. Seeing Su Xing come out, the girls were delighted. "Family head, you refined your heavenly books so quickly." Female tiger Gu Tong walked over while holding Tang Tang. She meticulously lowered her voice, appearing very gentle. Ever since she became his woman, Gu Tong retracted her shrewish personality. However, this was something inevitable, for even Lin Yingmei and Wu Xiao treated Su Xing with the utmost respect, their tones smooth. Gu Tong felt her own bellows were quite lacking in confidence. However, she did not know that because she was Tong Tong's mother, all of the girls knowingly smiled at her swift and decisive personality. On the contrary, Tang Tang again called Su Xing Papa, making sure Yuan enviously and remorsefully say, "In any case, this young lady is Su Xing's third star general. Now there are more than 13, and Su Xing even has a kid. This young lady is still virgin. I'm already at a bottleneck." Su Xing smiled. Tang Tang reached out with her adorable arms, wanting to hug her father. Gu Tong then carefully passed by Yu Tong into Su Xing's embrace. Female tiger's expression was always filled with a mother's love whenever she looked at Tang Tang. From an outsider's perspective, she and Su Xing were honestly a family. Xinjie somewhat understands why Yuaner is so brooding. Wu Xinjie giggled. "Brooding about what?" Su Xing curiously asked. Wu Xinjie smiled and said, "Brooding about not becoming true husband and wife with young lord." "We are not true husband and wife either." Gu Tong muttered, somewhat wronged. "There will be lots of time for that in the future." Su Xing listened helplessly. How could he not think about this? But they were already at the 7 stars assembly phase. Even if he wanted it any more than he already did, he needed to endure. Heaven knew what tricks that Maiden Mountain would pull, and thief star Shi Yuan had no sense of danger. Leaving her star nest intact greatly relieved Su Xing. Yuaner knows, in fact. Right now, she is always making Suwen go comprehend heaven rank. Little sister Suwen is worried to death. Wu Xinjie said as she paced. Why is her making sister Suwen comprehend heaven rank worrying? Gu Tong did not understand. She must be thinking of repairing the star nest. Su Xing rolled his eyes. How could he not know what Shi Yuan was thinking? Wu Xinjie covered her grin. This can allow us to do husband and wife things with young lord without restraint. Gu Tong blushed, inwardly asking what sort of man this was, to surprisingly give a star general the idea of losing her virginity. From now on, she must carefully supervise Tang Tang. Tang Tang was so small, she could not be led astray by this profanity. No wonder Suwen is so worried. Using a heaven rank to repair the star nest. Su Xing and Wu Xinjie said as they walked to the Longevity Palace's courtyard. Silk-like flowing clouds covered the Jade Palace. Faint spirit light shone upon the Longevity Hall's complete flawlessness and abundant magic energy. Amidst the immortal light, girls of unique and outstanding beauty were waving spear, or shooting arrows, or reading in the courtyard, practicing their abilities. Young lord, your 5 elements sword should already have been forged? Wu Xinjie said. Young lord has just left seclusion. You should meet with the first wife. Just what I was thinking. Su Xing then said to Tang Tang, Tang Tang, Papa is going to greet Mama Yingmei now. I'll come hold you later. Tang Tang obediently assented, clasping and kissing Su Xing on the cheek. When he handed the little lowly over to Gu Tong, Su Xing saw that female tigers still somewhat reluctant to part and bashful appearance. He craftily blinked. Wife of the family head, won't you kiss your lord husband? Gu Tong gasped. You have so many of the sisters and you still scorn this old lady. Gu Tong quietly said. Although she said this, Gu Tong still kissed Su Xing passionately. Then, Su Xing kissed Wu Xinjie and finally walked over to Lin Yingmei, Wu Xiao, Yan Yizhen, and Hunyangzi's sparring field. Yingmei, Xiao, how is your training? Su Xing asked. Young master. Lin Yingmei stopped her battle and slightly nodded. Progress is slow. Wu Xiao replied. Star General sparring could increase their realm, but there were limits to increasing realm by fighting without killing intent. Even with martial arts that were any more proficient, in the end, there was honestly no way to display this without killing intent. However, this could not be blamed on Yingmei. To have her spear direct full killing intent against her sisters, anyone else would also be unable to do so. Su Xing then inquired about their heavenly book refinements. Because she did not have a star nest, refinement was more difficult than usual. Although Yan Yizhen and Gongsun Huang had star nests, because Su Xing's contracts were too numerous, their star energy distribution slowed their progress considerably compared to other star masters. However, this was not really a big problem. Refining heavenly books in the Longevity Palace was merely a matter of time. The sole exception being Lin Yingmei, whose realm was the highest. Her refinement of the former volume heavenly books was much faster. Presently, she was already nearly finished refining the first former volume heavenly book. By that time, who knew whether this heavenly book would allow her to comprehend heaven rank or upgrade her star weapon or realm? Su Xing bid each of the wives luck, to have them allow their husband to shower them with tender love. You must not lead Tang Tang astray. Gu Tong badgered with a red face. Shi Yuan's ears were sensitive, and she dashed over in surprise. Seriously? Seriously? Slave servant is ready to obey master's wishes. Yan Yizhen apathetically assented. Milord, we are about to scale the peak. This kind of matter, Hua Wanyue was taken aback. What are you thinking of? Seeing little Huang show a rare blush, winking at those ambiguously moist eyes, Su Xing joked. The tenderness I spoke of is this. Waving his hand, a halo flew out and spiraled behind him. Those were frost-like flying swords, glittering, flowing with a chilly breeze. The entire length of the sword was varved with a qilin, reclining at the tip and emitting a cold air. Blue light slowly coursed around. The surroundings were full of ice and frost, showing a wintry scene. Two pure and sparkling words were carved into the hilt. Frost powder. Young master, your water element swords are already forged? Lin Yingmei asked, gratified. Su Xing slightly smiled. Using the 10,000-year black ice to forge one flying sword spent most of his energy. This kind of extreme cold object would inflict damage even while using divine intent control. He struggled through forging the 12 water element, frost powder, swords after Super Void Peak. With this, the Heavenly Spirit Earthly Fiend Purple Star 5 element swords were all finally completed. Su Xing then moved his divine intent. Metal element Heaven Tearing, Wood element Langya, Fire element Jian Feather, and Earth element Time Immemorial emerged in succession. Yingmei, are you ready to receive Lord Husband's love? Your servant looks forward to a long while. Lin Yingmei gripped her spear, the corner of her mouth curling. Wu Xinjie watched the fight and then said to Gong Kaiwei and Shiyu, Immortal Hero Princess, Shiyu, do you not want to go spar with Yingmei? The experience of a true Phoenix Realm Martial General is but very rare. Shiyu forced a smile and shook her head. She had no talent for martial arts to speak of. Even with the most Yang Divine Fire, Vermilion Jian Clinging Fire, she would perhaps have no way to inhibit Lin Yingmei's 5-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear. Then, please excuse Kaiwei. Gong Kaiwei brought out the tracing snow sword. Her body techniques moved, her white clothes fluttered, and she instantly joined in the spar. I also want to love milord. Hua Wanyue laughed, firing an arrow. The arrow brushed past Su Xing's cheek. That's the best. Su Xing smiled. He glanced at Gong Kaiwei. They nodded, their coordination perfect. Wu Xiao walked to the side, staring at the scenes of the Longevity Palace she was long accustomed to. She saw Wu Xinjie was slightly concerned and gently asked, Wu Xinjie, has Maiden Mountain still not shown signs of activity? Chao Gai? Chao Gai said she would confer unto young lord a calamity. Now, young lord has already refined his heavenly book, and still Xinjie does not see any signs. Wu Xinjie affirmed. If Chao Gai dares come for this calamity, Your concubine shall make her suffer through your concubine's calamity. Wu Xiyo glowered. After refining their 3 heavenly books, everyone believed they could face Chao Gai working together. Wu Xinjie smiled. Xinjie has always felt Chao Gai is helping young lord. Wu Xinjie pursed her lips, unconvinced. Most recently, there have been consecutive starfalls. Xinjie is a bit uneasy. Leader Star Song Qingxi's uprising is also an anomaly of the 9th generation. This ascent will perhaps be difficult. Wu Xinjie sighed. Wu Xiyo was quiet. Lord Husband also sees this point, which is why he so anxiously seeks Ingmei to improve his martial arts. Right now, Lord Husband's martial arts have made significant progress, and his cultivation is also at a peak. Nature is taking its course. Xiyo is truly optimistic. Wu Xinjie dubiously winked. Wanna go love Lord Husband together with Xinjie tonight? If nature is taking its course, you will not refuse, Xiyo. If you can convince Lord Husband, then your concubine shall accompany you for action once. Wu Xiyo fiddled with a strand of hair laying in front of her chest. Her long hair reached past her butt. Her figure was fair, wonderfully supple, and those especially boundless and starry eyes were inescapable. Wu Xinjie was dispirited. Having known each other for so long, she nearly neglected that the pilgrim did not need either a frown or smile to chill all things. This Xinjie will definitely think of a way to convince Lord Husband to taste the pilgrim's softness. They must service him. After sparring with Ingmei and the others, Su Xing then had a long course of sex with Ingmei in the bath. All the pores in his body from head to toe fully opened. Returning from the bath as he passed through a corridor, he spotted the blankly staring Chai Ling holding Xing. In front of the noble star, a former volume heavenly book floated. Ling, what are you doing here? Su Xing's voice startled Chai Ling. The jiggles of her lofty snowy peaks that lay beneath her taut white bodice was quite a spectacular sight, making the post-ecstasy Su Xing once again stir. Chai Ling used her fan to cover her mouth, a proud curve upon her lips. Your eyes are already staring, why not extend your hand? Su Xing stretched out, but the 3-eyed wealth-inviting beast bluntly bit his finger. This sight made Chai Ling unable to help but laugh. Xing, you are hurting this palace. What were you thinking just now? Su Xing asked. This palace is thinking about how to bathe. What do you mean how? Don't you just undress and scrub your body? Su Xing shrugged. Seeing Chai Ling was tongue-tied, he suddenly grinned. Linger, you can't have needed the services of Jinji and Yuye to bathe yourself back at the Great Circle Castle. This was always the duty of a maid. Chai Ling stared. The Longevity Palace does not have maids. Su Xing teased. Chai Ling's eyes rolled. She suddenly showed a charming expression. This place does not have maids, but it does have Xing. You want to make a cat help bathe you? Su Xing truly envied this little cat. This palace was referring to you, Xing. Chai Ling blushed as she uttered this. Liked it? Ling, your meaning is that you want to make me help wash you? A married couple's bath? Su Xing seemingly smiled, with a kind of indescribable ambiguity. It is your good fortune that this palace will let you serve her. Chai Ling moved the fan to conceal the unease in her heart. Su Xing walked over and grabbed Chai Ling's slim hand, carefully caressing her. This supple skin absolutely could make any man in the world desire to draw near. Let alone, the owner of these slender jade hands would be completely naked. Just thinking of the haughty Her Highness Queen Noble Star exposing her most secret places was enough to send a man over the edge. Su Xing believed that he was not wicked nor a wolf. If anything happened while she was willing, then that would be inevitable and natural. So his response was, no. The Chai Ling who was being gently stroked by Su Xing was just in the middle of being eager, but when she suddenly heard this reply, she was momentarily unable to react. Come again. Chai Ling's bashfulness turned into fury. Maybe if you sign a contract day with me. Otherwise, I won't do something so dubious. Su Xing made clear his intentions, immediately saying without a choice, Linger, you obviously know I really want to sign a contract with you. Just how long do you plan to keep on waiting? When you scale Maiden Mountain and fight, you will inevitably face danger on all sides, be brought to the brink of death. At that time, Your Highness Queen, must you jinx me like this? Su Xing blushed furiously upon hearing this. Danger on all sides, on the brink of death. If he worked with Zhao Hanyan and the others with his current strength, he had no need to fear an alliance of the other Star Masters in the 9th Star Duels. Chai Ling snorted, her expression extremely derisive. Those eyes seemed to say, "My dear Xing'e, in what battle did you not face such a situation?" Su Xing cursed under his breath, unable to refute this. Chai Ling laughed. This is the first contract that the Noble Star will sign across 9-star duels. Can it be you will not allow this palace to be expectant? I fear there's no way to satisfy you. Su Xing firmly answered. Chai Ling was silent. Su Xing asked, "Were you looking at your former volume Heavenly Book just now? What, haven't refined it yet?" The Noble Star's smile suddenly retracted a bit. Her brow wrinkled, and she looked silently at Su Xing, hesitating to speak. Su Xing guessed that this proud queen was again thinking over those trifling matters. I already made clear to you that I don't want this Heavenly Book. Refine it for yourself. If you still believe in me, do this for me. But Chai Ling knew Su Xing's current cultivation had already reached the peak of Supervoid late stage. The distance to transforming Star of Annihilation was but a single step. Across the 9-star duels, never has there been a single Star Master that was able to reach transforming Star of Annihilation before scaling the mountain. If Su Xing could do so, then he would inevitably leave his name behind in Liangshan continent's history. The problem was that transforming Star of Annihilation was a legend in Liangshan continent. Those who comprehended it were exceedingly rare. This was why former volume Heavenly Books became the most coveted objects for peak cultivators. Currently, although there were many former volume Heavenly Books inside the Longevity Palace, they were extremely precious. Lin Yingmei and the others did not mind at all handing their own Heavenly Books to their Lord Husband, but Su Xing nevertheless would never accept this. In his perspective, they served better use increasing Lin Yingmei and the others' strength instead of comprehending transforming Star of Annihilation for himself. This was also the perspective of Wu Xinjie and the others. And the problem that was currently placed in front of Chai Ling. As the first Noble Star Little Whirlwind to join the Star Duels, she could not decide whether this former volume Heavenly Book should be used for herself or given to Xing'e. This made her hesitate indefinitely because no one knew what use there even was for the Noble Star to comprehend a Heavenly Book. The Noble Star did not even have any heaven, earth, dark, yellow techniques. Regardless of realm advancement or heaven rank, it seemed of little value. No buts. This Heavenly Book is the Noble Star's very first former volume Heavenly Book. Not only does it represent you, Chai Ling, it also represents the 9 previous Noble Stars. If you don't personally look at this former volume Heavenly Book, wouldn't that be the regret of a lifetime? Su Xing smiled and said. Seeing that Chai Ling was not at all convinced, Su Xing then said, I know you're worried about me, Ling. I can accept this kindness. Or are you saying that you feel this way because you think the Heavenly Book is useless to you, Chai Ling, that I should take your Heavenly Book as insurance for myself? Am I so selfish? Is that what you think? If not, then refine it. I'm quite eager to see what will happen when you fully grasp the Heavenly Book, Ling. Chai Ling gently bit her red lips. Her gaze alluringly let out a tear. She only felt that her heartbeat that had just calmed was suddenly accelerating again. Your words make this palace want to sign a contract with you right now. Then let's immediately contract. Su Xing smoothly embraced her and lowered his head. Chai Ling gasped and had her lips tyrannically seized by the man. Their tongues intertwined, and the queen's body went limp. There was a sound in her mind that continually wanted to break out of her chest. Sign a contract. Just sign a contract with this man. Do not mind the reputation of the Noble Star. Chai Ling firmly suppressed this urge. The two of them kissed. Su Xing wanted to soften her, and his hands again became wicked. His left hand wrapped around the queen's waist while his right climbed backwards to knead her supple butt. Then his left hand very naturally drew back and extended into Chai Ling's white bodice. Just as he was about to profane those towering breasts, the three-eyed wealth-inviting beast yowled, scratching Su Xing with its claw. Su Xing had not been on guard. He recoiled in pain. Little Whirlwind returned to her senses. Giggling, she drew back. Su Xing looked at the claw mark on the back of his hand and then glared at the accursed cat. This palace does not care for the noble star's reputation at all, Chai Ling stared, suddenly blurting this out without thinking. Su Xing knowingly smiled. I know. Chai Ling also smiled, recovering her prior lofty, graceful and arrogant bearing. This palace truly needs someone to serve in the bath. If it is you, Xinge, this palace will naturally reward you with even more. Of course, you will have to blindfold yourself. And do not even think of taking advantage of this palace. At that time, I will have to punish you on the spot. Su Xing shook his head, regretfully saying, the dual cultivation I've been training is somewhat unmanageable recently, so for something as good as this, I can only give up on for now. Just thinking of seeing Chai Ling nude, even if he blindfolded his eyes, it would be somewhat involuntary. By then, he would be bursting. This desire was not as easily controlled as back then with the dragon's fluids. No, I must go seek out shacking and listen to her dharma. Chai Ling was taken aback, not expecting that Su Xing would surprisingly still have this much resistance. She could not help but smile. But there is someone who is even more skilled than I in helping you bathe, Su Xing called out. Little E. From the space behind him, Yan Yizhen quietly emerged, making Chai Ling's smile freeze. Master. Yan Yizhen respectfully bowed. Did you hear our conversation just now? I. Go help bathe Linger, and be a bit more gentle to her. Su Xing looked at Chai Ling. Linger, Little Yi's technique is superb. We've bathed numerous times together already. You're sure to like it. No need for this palace. Chai Ling pulled the corners of her mouth into an awkward smile. She knew that the skillful star was very skilled in service, but every night in the Longevity Palace, she gave blowjobs. Heaven knew how lewd this wanderer while serving people. Su Xing even mentioned a moment ago that the two of them had bathed many times. Perhaps, those sessions were not so pure. Don't be shy. My dear little E, make Chai Ling spotless. Later, let's chat again. Yan Yizhen nodded. You swindler, you clearly even said dual cultivation was unmanageable. To make little E come, can it be that you disdain this palace? This palace has not even been touched by a man before. Chai Ling angrily said, I didn't swindle you. It's just that little E has the yin-yang carps, they can harmonize with the way of yin and yang. Su Xing shook his head. But Chai Ling clearly could discern that Yan Yizhen was still virgin. Su Xing felt guilty and wiped his sweat. Yan Yizhen's apathetic expression showed a rare red hue. The odd atmosphere seemed to sound like Su Xing was saying something like alternative approach, or something of that effect. Chai Ling was baffled, but Su Xing did not want to continue haggling with Chai Ling shooting her a look. Yan Yizhen then seized Chai Ling by the shoulder. She would not allow the noble star to decline inside the Longevity Palace. This palace hates you to death. Far away, through the mist, came the girl's resentful voice. After Yan Yizhen carried Chai Ling into the bath, Lin Yingmei finally walked out from another bathroom. Young master, why not accept Chai Ling's good intentions? Yingmei, don't tell me I'm a horny brute in your mind. Su Xing suffered an enormous blow. Lin Yingmei pursed her lips and smiled. Your servant can see that Chai Ling's invitation just then required great courage. I know, and that's even more reason why I couldn't accept it. Su Xing said. Lin Yingmei. It's only because she feels that refining her former volume heavenly book for herself is something selfish that she would think of using her body to compensate me. Su Xing stared at Lin Yingmei. He softly said, if I actually accepted it, that would be a sort of shame between the two of us. Chai Ling also has gone through some trouble. Lin Yingmei sighed. Yingmei, in actuality, I've already thought of a way to grasp Transforming Star of Annihilation without using a heavenly book. Su Xing's expression was mysterious as he winked. May your servant know what that method is? Lin Yingmei wrinkled her brow. Of course, but, Su Xing wrapped his arm around Lin Ningmei's waist, and Lin Ningmei's arms subconsciously wrapped around Su Xing's neck. Let's go take a bath together first, then I'll tell you. The ears of the Lin Ningmei, who had only just made love with Su Xing in the bath, once again burned. She grunted in agreement. 7 Worthies Village. The 4 great generals Xian, Lang, Shu, De were still as they were, waiting idly for opportunity. Pang Shu pulled on the string of her enormous bow. There was no arrow knocked, but she released the string. A biting cold wind arrow directly roared out with an enormous noise, blowing 7 Worthies forest into a miss. So boring, so boring. Pang Shu dispiritedly tugged her bow, turning her head to look at her squinting elder sister that was drilling with a sword. Sister Xian, we may as well directly launch an attack. Enough waiting, these star generals will not last a single blow anyways. Do not bully those little sisters. Some of them starfell just now, did they not? Truly interesting, the form of those starfalls is the same as in Star World. The woman wearing a blue dragon-patterned super short skirt that only covered down to the fork of her legs showed a charming expression. She played with her fingernails as she spoke, a passive appearance. My great bow is already unbearably hungry. Pang Shu stroked her own chest as she muttered, I also want to quickly return to Star World and drink Mugua lotus seed soup. The Xuannu of 9th Heaven treats 9 as an end. These 9th star duels cannot be underestimated. A voice as gentle as a spring breeze sounded out. The Shi Xian, who was waving a sword, the meditating Deng Wuda, Pang Shu and Bao Nyanga were startled. A noble, graceful, mysterious and ephemeral beauty appeared among them. Your Highness, you have awoken? Pang Shu was elated. Give Her Highness quiet. Shi Xian knelt, and the others followed suit in deference. Rise, all of you. The girl slightly smiled. She was Fang Mojia. Your Highness, your meaning just now was? Shi Xian was pensive. This Highness wants to see him. Discuss the latest chapter here. 1. Turns out he is a horny brute after all. Right arrow curving left 2. Per? Song Jiang? Why would your Highness want to see her? Shi Xian inquired, not understanding why Fang Mojia would want to see Song Jiang. They were obviously here to stop her. Not her, but that man named Su Xing whom the brave star mentioned. Fang Mojia calmly said, Su Xing. The Xian, Liang, Shu, the generals were even more bewildered upon hearing this. Although the brave star was fierce, she was merely fodder. Why would your Highness mention that star master? Shi Xian's tone was somewhat sharp, not at all approving of Fang Mojia's thoughts. This palace believes that this generation's star duels are not so simple. Fang Mojia's gaze focused into the distance. Your Highness, please forgive subordinates' impulsiveness. Now is not the time to create side issues. Shi Xian reminded. Fang Mojia was still unmoved. Her faint smile was like mist and haze, mysterious and fleeting. Even the Xian, Liang, Shu, the generals could not see through Her Highness no matter the time, any place is home. The longer they knew each other, the more unfathomable she became instead. Your Highness, but if we leave the vicinity of Maiden Mountain, what do we do if leader Star Song Jiang seizes the vacancy to enter? Bao Nyanga retracted her alluring expression and became solemn. You will all stand guard here. This Highness wants to rest. Fang Mojia's tone was gentle. She turned around and moved towards her bed. The 4 generals glanced at each other, somewhat unprepared regarding Fang Mojia's sudden interest. Your Highness, why the sudden interest in a star master? This is truly strange. Pang Shu turned her head back, ready to ask her elder sister, Sister Xian. The words had just left her mouth when she promptly swallowed them back. Shi Xian's hand was tightly gripping the phoenix splitter. She was seemingly smiling, squinting, the depths of her narrowed eyes filled with a strict glare. Can it be that Sister Xian is jealous? Pang Shu was speechless, deciding to be a bit more behaved so as to avoid touching on Sister Xian's sore spot. Otherwise, she would be severely punished again. Several days later, Zhao Hanyan finally entered the Longevity Palace, which made Su Xing breathe a sigh of relief. My darling Han Yan, if you didn't come back, I would have gone out to look for you. Does the prince consort believe this princess would betray him? Zhao Hanyan teased. The Ling Yan princess and Su Xing had the intertwined branch swords 1,000-year pact. Su Xing also knew she was kidding. Why are there only 2 little sisters for the 7 Stars Assembly? Zhao Hanyan glanced around the Longevity Palace and found only Shiyu and Gong Kaiwei. Su Xing stared at her. Your phrasing makes it sound like I'm specialized in roping other people in. This princess actually does not mind. 2 little sisters is truly a stroke of luck. Zhao Hanyan smiled and said, this little sister address undoubtedly determined a certain relationship between them. Shiyu blushed and nodded, returning her salutations. Gong Kaiwei normally was somewhat at odds with the Ling Yan princess. The immortal hero princess pondered. She then grunted and merely nodded before turning to mind her other matters. Have you refined your heavenly books? Su Xing asked. In fact, over these past few days, Zhao Hanyan had been in Bian City, making use of the transforming star-bewildering heaven array that national scholar Mo Shangxian created for mechanisms, pairing it with Dong Junqing refining her former volume heavenly book. As everyone knew, other than voluntarily giving the former volume heavenly book to a cultivator, another way was to use a special array. So long as a cultivator entered the array, then they could exploit the surplus star energy from a star master refining her heavenly book to also comprehend the mysteries of transforming star of annihilation. The Zhao Hanyan that expected to scale the peak of Maiden Mountain naturally did not need this surplus star energy. Then she had prepared it for a certain someone instead. Has Lord Father-in-law come? Su Xing smiled. Haha, well done, son-in-law, truly impressive. In such a short time of not seeing you, you have already reached the peak of super void. We acknowledge our inferiority. A hearty laugh resounded. Emperor Liang walked into the Longevity Palace. Your servant greets Lord Father-in-law. Su Xing cupped his fist. Ha, no need for the formalities. Just take care of Han Yan properly in the future. Emperor Liang smiled, waving his hand. Su Xing's current power apparently left Emperor Liang in the dust. However, he never imagined that Su Xing would still be so deferential to him. This gave Emperor Liang quite the pleasant surprise. Worthy of the Longevity Palace. As expected, this is a worldly fairyland. Emperor Liang looked around this legendary Longevity Palace. Even the most powerful ruler in Liangshan continent could not help but exclaim at the Longevity Palace's magnificence, especially the myriad charms of the star maidens in the Longevity Palace. Emperor Liang had often heard of the Purple Thunder Monsters legends, but to personally see Lin Yingmei, Wu Siyou, and the other top-notch star generals all together still gave Emperor Liang an overwhelming feeling. Emperor Liang could not help but feel admiration, inwardly saying that this man truly had enormous fortune. Zhao Hanyan giggled at her father emperor's shocked expression, raising the corners of her mouth. Father emperor came this time to see the Longevity Steel's secrets. Prince consort, how about you let him see the secret? No problem at all, but the Longevity Palace is currently moving towards Maiden Mountain, time is short. Su Xing said. It would be difficult to learn the Longevity Steel's longevity cultivation method without several years' time. Even right now, it was perhaps too late to scratch the surface. Emperor Liang smiled. We want to personally see the Longevity Steel. Perhaps we can comprehend something. Father-in-law, please help yourself. Su Xing indicated. Emperor Liang wasted no time, warping in front of the Longevity Steel, gazing at it. Junqing, you ought to have finished refining your former volume heavenly book. What were its contents? Wu Xinjie asked at this time. It was only the most average of things. Zhao Hanyan said. Dong Junqing's current aura was not the same as before, and there was an additional tyranny in her allure, something bewitching about her might. Clearly, her realm had increased considerably. Dong Junqing proudly curled her lips into a smile. She manifested the 4-star dragon Phoenix Yin-Yang spear, and a pair of true phoenix wings emerged from her back. True Phoenix 3rd stage. Not a bad realm. Wu Xinjie seeing clearly discerned this, and she voiced admiration. The former volume Heavenly Book had the function of comprehension of a heaven rank, ascension of a star weapon, or elevation of a realm. As far as a powerful martial general was concerned, increasing realm was actually not a bad choice. Mate, quickly come fight 300 bouts with this general. Dong Junqing shouted. Lin Wangmai slightly smiled. Her body techniques were agile. Descending into the center of the field, her Arctic Star Serpent spear pointed directly at the general of double spears, hinting at her to fight with everything she had. Dong Junqing brandished the Dragon Phoenix Yin Yang spears and attacked. The battle of the two great true Phoenix martial generals drew the attention of the other girls. Su Xing, not going to watch the battle together? Zhao Hanyan asked. I'm very confident in Yingmei. Su Xing smiled and said, although Dong Junqing's true Phoenix third stage was very awesome, but this was unlikely to overcome Lin Wangmai. How was your Heavenly Book refinement? Zhao Hanyan curiously asked. Were the Heavenly Books all given to Lin Yingmei to refine? No, Yingmei was unwilling to take so many. She only refined 3. She just finished refining 2, one increased her realm, and the other upgraded her star weapon. Su Xing's gaze was full of tender love. Currently, Sister Yingmei is but true Phoenix 6th stage with a 6-star destined weapon. Sh Yuan proudly flaunted. What 6-star? Zhao Hanyan was unable to conceal her astonishment. She turned her gaze. Through that ice-cold light of the Arctic Star Serpent spear, there were 6 coldly shimmering stars. Each of those stars were linked to each other, sparkling with lovely light, like a profound formation. Zhao Hanyan drew in a sharp breath. 6-star destined weapon. True Phoenix 6th stage. Did this not surpass the previous Panther head? Shi Yuan wanted this Ling Yan princess to know that Hunyangzi's star weapon had already reached 7-star to see what sort of expression she would make. The previous Hu Banzwang relied on a 7-star destined weapon to sweep through everyone and become overlord. Now that Hunyangzi had already reached this realm, she was only one of many of Su Xing's wives. The others in the Longevity Palace that had also reached True Phoenix realm aside from Lin Yingmei and Hunyangzi included Wu Siyou, Hua Wanyue, Lu Shaking, Yan Yizhen, and Gong Sun Huang. Wu Siyou was True Phoenix 4th stage, Hua Wanyue was True Phoenix 2nd stage as was Lu Shaking, Gong Sun Huang was True Phoenix 3rd stage, and although Yan Yizhen was only True Phoenix 1st stage, she was the first wife out of everyone to comprehend a heaven rank. In the Longevity Palace's power rankings, other than Lin Yingmei, even Wu Siyou had to declare defeat. Seeing such a powerful battle formation, even the Zhao Hanyan that loved Su Xing dearly felt that Maiden Mountain's trials against him were truly justified. In the past star duels, a true Phoenix martial general alone had the qualifications to become overlord, let alone that Su Xing currently had 7 true Phoenix realm martial generals. However, Zhao Hanyan was very aware that Su Xing's martial generals were each of spectacular realm, surpassing the past generations. But while the other star masters would be in life or death struggles, Su Xing's group had already begun to face Maiden Mountain's overlord trials, already begun opposing true Phoenix martial generals. Under this kind of trial by fire, it was not surprising for the true Phoenix realms to burst forth. Zhao Hanyan even somewhat understood why Maiden Mountain would want to get rid of Su Xing before the Heavenly Books. By the time the Heavenly Books passed, their true Phoenix realms would have fully developed. Even the past overlords would not be enough to qualify as opponents for them. This princess originally worried about the monster-slaying conference. Now, it seems that this princess must actually worry for them. Zhao Hanyan laughed. Monster-slaying conference, as expected, how regretful. This was within Su Xing's expectations. With his strength, it would be odd for the other star masters to not form an alliance. What are you regretting? To end Maiden Mountain star duels, it would be best if everyone joined hands. I had regrets about this. Did you think everyone was like you? Maybe you can go and seduce a few of them over. That Song Qingzi, what are your thoughts, Su Xing? Zhao Hanyan then asked, also voicing the confusion of the other girls. They were very aware of Song Qingzi's identity as leader Star Song Jiang, and in these star duels, she had already formed the uprising. By doing so, It was naturally obvious at a glance what the purpose of the monster-slaying conference was. The uprising was allied with the monster-slaying conference. Even Su Xing could not easily break free from this. Zhao Hanyan had a solution, which was to first go sneak attack and kill Song Jiang, to get rid of the uprising's leader. With Song Jiang's death, she believed that Su Xing would have nothing to worry about in the future. "You can't do this." Su Xing hesitantly declined. "What, do you love her?" Zhao Hanyan moved about, dazzling. "Or perhaps you want to turn this foster little sister into a conquered little sister. Why are you acting like Junqing?" Su Xing felt defeat. What the princess says makes sense. Su Xing has treated her so well, yet she secretly wanted to betray Su Xing. This is too infuriating. Shi Yuan angrily said, "To end the star duels, we cannot be missing Qingzi, otherwise, these star duels will be a dream of golden millet." Su Xing shook his head. All of the girls sunk into thought. Zhao Hanyan could not see through this man. "But are you going to let that Song Jiang plot against you like this? Can it be that you are truly certain you will be able to face against the uprising's army and the monster-slaying alliance together?" "Relax, I'll spread a rumor." "What rumor? Will it work?" "I'll just say there's been a change in the 9th star duels. Star generals without a contract can automatically enter Maiden Mountain." Su Xing's voice was clear and bright. Zhao Hanyan and Shi Yu were still confused as to the purpose. Perhaps other people will not understand, but Song Qingzi will definitely know that these words are referring to the uprising, so she will inevitably go investigate this. Wu Xinjie seemed to happen upon something. At that time, we can take this time to drive a wedge in the other alliance. Let alone that the 5th and 6th overlords did not give Young Lord a trial, Young Lord surmises that Maiden Mountain has encountered some trouble, so he wants to make Qingxi's uprising forces go scout it out first. The implication being that the first to meet with danger would become cannon fodder? Zhao Hanyan thought and asked, "Is such a simple rumor really believable?" "She won't believe it, but she will have no choice but to believe it. Because Qingzi is in fact the greatest variable in the 9th star duels." Su Xing sighed. This man's heart was very aware. It appeared he truly did not need to worry. This was the difference between a little sister and an adoptive little sister. The Ling Yan princess was instantly moist. She impulsively pushed Su Xing down on the spot, shocking each of the nearby girls into gasping. "This princess wants 300 bouts with you right now. Sisters, you are free to join in." Zhao Hanyan bit her lip and undressed, leaning over to expose the deep cleavage under her bodice, her breathing heavy. "Liked it?" "Have you thought clearly about the wish after you become overlord?" In a corridor of the Longevity Palace, Emperor Liang held his hands behind his back, gazing at the giant, faraway mountain. The adjacent Su Xing hesitantly answered, "I don't need the overlord's wish. I don't have any faith in this thing." "Oh." Emperor Liang's brow wrinkled, showing curiosity. "I will climb the mountain, and I will see what kind of landscape is there. As for these star duels, I will definitely end them." Su Xing gave a downplayed smile. "For it to be able to drop so many formidable star generals, have you truly no fear?" Emperor Liang continued, "That Maiden Mountain's power is most certainly far stronger than Liangshan continent's. I think that may not be the case." Su Xing's expression was very relaxed. "So long as I can grasp Transforming Star of Annihilation, I think I can at least have a place to stand in Star World." Transforming Star of Annihilation, huh? Whenever Emperor Liang heard of the final goal of Liangshan's cultivators, he could not help but sigh. In close to 10,000 years, it was a fact that no cultivator could truly comprehend this legendary Transforming Star of Annihilation. Even Supervoid Peak cultivators were unable to obtain any glimpse into comprehension. We once had a candlelight chat with Holy Monk 4 Noble Truths about this Transforming Star of Annihilation matter, and we actually have some grasp of it. Emperor Liang slowly spoke. He held one hand behind him while the other extended forwards. Like the sun peeking through the clouds, it swept away the mist, revealing Maiden Mountain even more clearly. This transforming star of annihilation will require annihilation before you can be a transforming star. Your Majesty's meaning is? Reportedly, supervoid peak cultivators must first cripple their own cultivation, degrade themselves into ordinary people. Only by this kind of circumstance of great fortune and misfortune can transforming star be grasped. Emperor Liang said. Su Xing recalled devil ancestor Dark Nether and nodded. I think so as well. But to make a supervoid peak cultivator become a cripple, they would perhaps be killed off before becoming transforming star. No wonder Liangshan continent's history never had records of transforming star of annihilation, because when a cultivator truly arrived at a level of comprehension, those who did not already enter Star World would already have been destroyed. However, using magic weapons like the 10,000 Calamities chain or soul-concealing muslin as Devil Ancestor Dark Nether actually was not a bad solution. The 7 Stars Assembly is already here. We would like that even if you are willing for transforming Star of Annihilation, that you do not face this danger. Emperor Liang smiled and said. Su Xing knew that what he said was correct. If he crippled himself right now, the Lin Yingmei and the others would face poor odds. Actually, it may not be necessary to be annihilated before transforming star. Sometimes, finding some people from Star World to help stuff your head may be even easier, right? Su Xing mysteriously smiled. Find someone from Star World? Emperor Liang's eyes flashed, and he laughed aloud. Surprisingly, you would dare have designs on her. If she truly came from Star World, then perhaps you actually can reach this realm. My daughter truly has taken fancy to a reckless man. Su Xing laughed along. Now that the ascent was at hand, there was no way he could not take risks right now. I am enormously relieved to leave Hanyan to you. Emperor Liang turned his head back to look around the Longevity Palace. He sighed. You have so many beautiful star generals. Perhaps you can answer us a question? Your Majesty, you wish to ask my origins? Su Xing guessed. Emperor Liang nodded. In fact, he had investigated Su Xing's history. Other than the 4-style school, everything else was unknown, as if Su Xing seemingly appeared out of thin air. But to have this kind of boldness and courage, to always be dazzling like a firefly in the night, he could not possibly be someone mediocre and without background. This will be the last time we see one another. We will never be able to eat or rest in peace if we cannot solve this mystery. Your Majesty, just treat me as if I came from Star World. Su Xing did not know how to speak about his history. You could only possibly have come from there. Emperor Liang said. Take good care of Han Yen. We will definitely go to Star World to look for you. Emperor Liang continued confidently. As you wish. Emperor Liang sighed. We suddenly feel that Liangshan continent will actually be somewhat lonely without you. Muttering this, Emperor Liang soared into the air, instantly vanishing from the Longevity Palace. Su Xing calmly looked at Liangshan continent's landscape. A while after, he turned and walked through the corridors. Each of the training girls turned gazes full of love and affection towards this beloved man. Lord Husband, do you truly wish to go grasp transforming star of annihilation? Wu Xiao was not without worry. Only by becoming stronger can a wish be achieved. Su Xing's tone was resolute. Wu Xiao nodded, helplessly smiling. Let's go find her now. Surrounded by mountains on all sides, embracing a pool of spring water, this was a crisp and concentrated scene, practically a tranquil water painting. A yellow-robed girl sat on a rock at the water's edge. Her feet were bare, and her golden armor was already set to the side. The girl rinsed her hair with the clean water, turning her incisive eyes towards a giant mountain beyond. The clear water flowed, soaking the woman's clothes, clinging to that physique tenderly. The woman was freshening herself when there was a sudden breeze. Several plum blossom petals drifted down in the forest. With a wave of her hand, the plum blossom petals swirled into her hand. She leaps off the swing, lazily raising her slender hands. Dew condenses on the thin flowers, a light sweat seeping into her clothes. She sees someone approach, the girl softly sang. No one would ever have thought that this calm, picturesque, and gentle as water woman was that famous Thousand Buddha star Chao Gai. Just as she mentioned someone approach, Chao Gai's expression suddenly chilled. She coldly called out, "You sneak, quickly come out." "What a fine rouge lips. I never thought you'd have such a side to you, Wu." A voice suddenly rang out and broke the quiet. Chao Wuhui was taken aback. A man had appeared in front of her at some point in time. He wore a vile and narrow smile, a fake smile as he looked her up and down. This damned Su Xing. Chao Wuhui extended her hand. A golden lotus flower blossomed that then shot a ray of golden light to gouge out Su Xing's dog eyes. Su Xing pushed, easily breaking it with purple cloud east approaches. By the time the lotus flower dissipated, Chao Wuhui had already donned her armor, a grim expression on her face. The girly sentiments from before seemed to be an illusion. What a pity, what a pity. Su Xing clicked his tongue. Your appearance before was certainly much more beautiful. This one did not come to seek you out, but you have surprisingly come to seek this one out. Chao Wuhui loftily said, I have come to confer unto you a calamity. Su Xing said. Chao Wuhui was taken aback and immediately replied, You have already pried into this one's strength, and this one does not have any calamity to confer you. Su Xing mockingly said, Don't be like that, Chao Wuhui. I saw that you were too focused, so I didn't bother you. You mentioned rouge lips just now, how do you know of it? Chao Wuhui wrinkled her brow. Why wouldn't I know? Isn't it one of Li Qingzhao's? Su Xing curiously said. How do you know of the heavenly green star? Chao Wuhui said in astonishment. Heavenly green star, Su Xing did not feel like guessing. At any rate, she must be another star name inherited in Star World. That Li Qingzhao had a star name as well was quite unexpected. Wait until I ascend to Star World, then you'll realize that I know a lot. Chao Wuhui showed a vigilant expression. Enough of this for now. I sought you out this time not to peek. Su Xing was serious. What is your business? The Seven Stars Assembly has already begun. You ought to know the current situation of the star duels. Chao Wuhui said, With your strength, it was inevitable that the others would unite to face you. They aren't my target. Su Xing shook his head. These words sounded to Chao Wuhui as if he was saying they were not his opponents. The Star Masters that were able to last until now have exceptional strength. Do you really believe you can ignore them? Chao Wuhui sternly said. So that's why I came to find you. My dear Wuhui, don't misunderstand. Su Xing chuckled. This one is already unable to help you. Chao Wuhui was forthright. In fact, I came to you to look for another person. Su Xing said. What person? Brave Star Guaning. Chao Wuhui was silent for a moment. A seeming smile flit across her lips. As it turns out, you want to grasp transforming star of annihilation. Just in passing at the same time. Su Xing calmly answered. Chao Wuhui flipped her wrist. A 7-story pagoda appeared in her palm, with rippling golden light and glinting colored glass. This pagoda was Chao Wuhui's strongest star weapon. Across all of Liangshan continent, it could absorb anything in this world and proceed to refine it. Su Xing had personally witnessed her wield the heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 pagoda's might twice. How could Chao Wuhui not realize the intentions this man harbored? He surprisingly wanted her to absorb him into the pagoda for a breakthrough in his cultivation. If he could actually break out of the pagoda, then transforming Star of Annihilation would not be a problem. Are you actually so sure you can break out of the pagoda? Chao Wuhui oddly asked. This 1,000 Buddha pagoda has but absorbed several great demi-kings and the Liao Emperor's fierce generals. You must have seen them already before? What you say is correct. Su Xing nodded, but entering the 1,000 Buddha pagoda was clearly his fastest option. Then this one shall confer unto you this calamity. Whether or not you can break out of the 7-story pagoda will depend on your luck. Chao Wuhui nodded in acknowledgement. Let me think for a moment. Su Xing shouted. Chao Wuhui laughed. No chance now. Saying this, she tossed the heaven-earth dark yellow 1,000 Buddha pagoda. Its Buddhist light radiated, sucking Su Xing in. An enormous suction pulled him in towards the pagoda. Even with Su Xing's current supervoid peak cultivation, he surprisingly felt unable to resist. Once again, he felt just how formidable Chao Gai's realm was. But at the same time this thousand Buddhist light fired, Su Xing immediately sensed the meditative mind lotus flower in his mind stir restlessly, as if it wanted to bloom, to resist the suction of this Buddhist light. Su Xing hesitated for a moment, gritting his teeth. If he wanted to break free of Maiden Mountain's restrictions after climbing the peak, then there was only one way, and that was to make himself transforming star of annihilation like that immortal clear void. Only by doing so did he have a chance. Otherwise, his words were nothing more than pompous bullshit. As well, entering the pagoda for a breakthrough was indeed a dangerous game. Su Xing had discerned that Chao Wuhui was helping him. If this truly did not work, then he had various backup plans, but regardless, Su Xing did not hope he and Chao Wuhui would end up this way. If only it were so. Thinking to this point, Su Xing no longer hesitated. He forced down the meditative mind lotus flower. Brief praise shot through Chao Wuhui's eyes. She then chanted, and the Buddhist light erupted, sucking Su Xing into the pagoda. You have a dozen contracts with star generals. This one actually is unable to trap you for too long away from the star duels. You must look after yourself. The winds calmed and the trees became still. The lake regained its tranquility. Chao Wuhui hooked her finger, sprinkling the green plum blossoms back into her hand. She wafted their scent, and her expression of unfettered delight read the second stanza of Rouge Lips. She runs in socks, her golden hairpin slipping. She walks away in embarrassment, but turns around at the threshold. Yet she sniffs the plum blossoms. Liked it? Only after Su Xing entered the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand Buddha pagoda did he realize Chao Gai's might. The interior of the pagoda was not vile, nor was it full of scorching holy fire like he had imagined. On the contrary, it was extraordinarily beautiful. As far as the eye could see, it was a vast world of colored glass, full of Buddhist lotus flowers everywhere, an endless expanse. It gave him a kind of extremely peaceful feeling. Su Xing was honestly puzzled. He used his divine intent to scan, only to discover this empty space had an incorporeal spiritual pressure, surprisingly making him unable to manifest his powers in the slightest. Furthermore, his magic energy was completely gone without a trace. Any other cultivator perhaps could not escape easily. However, Su Xing was accustomed to this. He once crossed the Buddha Kingdom's 7-story stupa pagoda's 8 distresses of life, and he also blossomed Buddhism's greatest power, the meditative mind lotus flower. He did not dare say he had an understanding of Buddhism's mysteries, but few Buddhist powers could hinder him. This was also one of the reasons Su Xing dared to enter Chao Gao's heaven-earth dark yellow thousand Buddha pagoda. Ksitagarbha's wish, the 4 elements are vanity. Su Xing chanted, forming hand seals. The meditative mind lotus flower unfurled behind him, showing a Buddhist image. 2 rays of colored glass light flowed in Su Xing's eyes, suddenly making those eyes shine like amber. This endless realm of tranquility immediately retreated to reveal its true form to Su Xing. An enormous pagoda towered over him. Let alone that this colored glass world was endless. In truth, if you actually tried to search for an end to this realm, then that would be waste of a lifetime of energy for naught but a futile struggle. Su Xing lifted his head. Sure enough, high above, there was already a spiral spreading outwards. At its center was a radiant light. Su Xing stamped his foot, leaping upwards. Lotus flowers bloomed, trailing behind him like a flight of stairs. Just at this moment, an anomaly occurred. A scorching flame suddenly leapt right at him head-on, burning Su Xing's organs and bones with rolling fire. Su Xing's limbs and orifices trickled golden flames. This was the true face of Chao Gai's heaven-earth dark yellow thousand Buddha pagoda. Transforming star of annihilation was achieved when a cultivator compresses their magic energy into their dantian in a return to their true self, to the brink of destruction and rebirth, before finally becoming a transforming star. During this time, the cultivator could not utilize anything up to the moment of annihilation. Against the incoming holy fire, Su Xing could only resist it. These Buddhist holy fires merely came from the fundamental 7 emotions and 6 desires. Lin Wangmai brought out the 7-star Arctic Star Serpent Spear. The Pantherhead had always handled herself directly and efficiently. Young Master only wants to end the star duels, but in order to end the star duels, if we do not defeat you, then that would be meaningless. The Arctic Star Serpent Spear pointed directly at Chao Gai. Lord Husband has always clearly differentiated gratitude and grudges. He has received much favor from you, but if we cannot defeat you, then our wish will be meaningless. Wu Xiao then said, "Furthermore, I also want to know after we defeat you, whether or not we can learn the reason these star duels began in the first place. Why else would we do this?" Hero Star Hua Wanyue drew her bow, displaying a graceful curve. "Wife shall offend you on dear husband's behalf." Hunyangzi's bright eyes were full of love, the golden wind and jade dew in her hands adopting a combat posture. "Sadhu, sadhu." Lu Shaking murmured. Yen Yizhen, Gong Sun Huang and the others grunted. "End the star duels. Can it be that you truly have the confidence for this?" Chao Wuhui was not angry, rather, she was very curious. Su Xing said that for us to make rapid and brilliant progress, to unite under the radiance of recklessness. Shi Yuan also leapt out and spoke. The radiance of recklessness? Chao Wuhui was speechless. Just what ideas was this Su Xing imparting? It was the radiance of togetherness, wasn't it? And Suwen timidly asked. "Oh right, recklessness, otherwise, we would not dare face Maiden Mountain?" Shi Yuan patted her chest. As a very professional robber, what she loved most was recklessness. Although she felt that Su Xing probably did not mean this, and Suwen remained silent. In short, we need to be strong to end this kind of internecine strife. Shi Yuan's memory was not very clear. Anyways, this was what Su Xing meant. This one has gained a new level of respect for you all. This one did not give him the meditative mind lotus flower in vain. Knowing their final objective, Chao Wuhui was instead very happy. "But you wish to face this one with only your forces alone? Are you not afraid to die?" Chao Wuhui released her power. The entire valley spring seemed to freeze. Powerful phoenix wings sprouted from her back, stifling the airflow in a range of 100 li. Her awe-inspiring might burst forth, making the girls face a great enemy. True Phoenix 8th stage. "So this is your realm, Chao Gai." Wu Xinjie seeing clearly discerned this. Chao Wuhui's realm made her drawn in a sharp breath. "This one shall give you another opportunity to leave without this one pursuing." Chao Wuhui was stern. Although Chao Wuhui's realm was extremely strong, Wu Xinjie did not shrink back at all. In truth, she had thought over this confrontation against Chao Wuhui for a long time. Originally, they thought that Harm's star Wusong would follow Song Jiang's uprising, but things are completely different from what we expected. The 7 Stars Assembly has begun, and there surprisingly has been no news at all concerning Song Jiang. Instead, Su Xing'an'ai has almost replaced Song Jiang. Koito swallowed and then handed a meat bun to Yusuji Muzu. The indifferent girl did not decline. Her slender and beautiful hands took the meat bun, and she took a small bite. Su Xing'an'ai is quite a good person. We do not need to concern ourselves with him. Koito nodded. "All is as you wish, Your Highness." Yusuji Muzu was apathetic. "Do not call Koito Your Highness. Being the Empress was only for fun. If only you can actually face Maiden Mountain. You must know that Maiden Mountain has star names that are more formidable than even the heavenly stars." Koito murmured. She then lifted her gaze, looking at the pillar extending into heaven. The cute and innocent Loli showed a bit of exasperated worry. "Liked it?" Lotus flowers filling the sky then descended like a wave overflowing the heavens, drowning Su Xing. The holy fire inside his body burned his organs, making Su Xing endure enormous suffering. Transforming Star of Annihilation was easy to talk about. Past cultivators that wanted to comprehend the borderlines of life and death often were unable to pass the checkpoint of death. To degrade unparalleled cultivation to the most ordinary of bodies was not something the average person could bear. Su Xing only felt his consciousness become increasingly hazy. If it was not for the support of his star crests, the 7-story pagoda would have already refined him into his quintessence. Even so, Su Xing still felt powerless. Several times, he wanted to expel the qi in his dantian, to unleash his powerful magic energy. But when a cultivator stepped into the world of transforming star of annihilation, there was already no room to turn back at this time. This was not death. This was rebirth. Every kind of dazzling illusion threw themselves at him. Su Xing gradually gave way. In the middle of these myriad illusions, he suddenly heard a voice, a mysterious call that was unprecedented in its pleasantness. Su Xing. Su Xing's soul regained its splendor. The lotus flowers scattered. A hand reached out and grabbed him. Su Xing seized his counterpart's wrist. From the touch of her skin, he could discern this was a girl. Guaning? Just before Su Xing's consciousness slipped into endless tranquility, he suddenly felt matchless safety. Su Xing seemed to have had a dream of golden millet. He dreamed of everything that happened after that moment when he first fell into Liangshan. The heroic majestic star panther head Lin Chong pointing her spear straight at his throat, making her pledge. The Song Lu of myriad schemes who turned out to be the clever knowledge star resourceful star Wu Xinjia, who fell in love and offered advice. Then, the thief star Flea on a drum Shi Yuan and their walk through the 10,000 li corridor, their kiss that shocked the world, the efficacious star divine physician and Suwen's health cottage and her spiritual aura distribution, and then more. Skillful star wanderer Yen Yizhen's 3 checkpoints and 6 generals, her heavenly star master recruitment. Leisure star dragon in the clouds Gong Sun Huang afflicted by the snake and scorpion beady, her mutterings of Your Highness. Solitary star gold coins spotted leopard Tang Lianxin cross-dressing, receiving the favor of the 4 styles. Rat star daylight rat song in evil smiting hall, the sweetness of candy. His 9th star general, solitary star Lu Chanshin's dharma in the rain, monastic name shacking. Then, the black turtle territory's bright star 10 feet of blue Hunyangzi, whose eyes and golden wind were laden with grief, who exchanged a pledge of love with the jade dew in her hand. Damage star white stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi, the beauty who tread the waves. Wu Xiyo's, do not laugh laying drunk on battlefield, who undermined a millennium. Hua Wanyue's, too young to have learned about sorrow, who resolved to call him milord. And finally, the 14th star General Gu Tong, whose voice shook Liangshan. Watching the plot development, everything passed. This last memory seemed to be viewed from far away, as if it was a bubble about to burst. Su Xing's heart was extremely worried, yet he found that his magic energy had completely vanished. He grasped onto those departing memories, suddenly opening his eyes in the midst of his struggle. What entered his eyes was the complexion of a graceful woman. She had a pair of dark blue eyes, deeper than the ocean and full of mystery. Not even all the worlds in the world could describe the feeling this girl gave Su Xing. She was very beautiful. So beautiful she did not seem real. You have awakened? Those mysterious and beautiful pupils reflected Su Xing's face drenched in cold sweat. Who are you? Su Xing smelled a darkened scent, something very mysterious. But he was certain he did not know this girl. The woman calmly stared at him. Only then did Su Xing notice he had been sleeping on her lap, his hand tightly grasping hers. Su Xing? You need to rest. The girl said, her voice gentle. It seemed very much like the voice of that girl who called out to him just before Su Xing finally lost consciousness. Su Xing's head hurt terribly. He did not know what that dream just now meant, retelling everything that had transpired since he arrived in Liangshan continent. It seemed as if it was consciously transmitted, making Su Xing nearly believe he actually had a great dream. Right now, his body was completely without strength. The mysterious woman gracefully remained silent. Since she did not oppose him sleeping on her lap, Su Xing accepted her invitation. The girl's thighs were extremely comfortable, also with a mysterious scent. It could make a person feel extremely calm. While he rested, Su Xing first checked his magic energy. There was no recovery at all. It seemed that dream really was not the effect of attaining transforming star of annihilation. He looked at his surroundings. It was a strange place of nature with pagodas in great numbers, and there was an enormous statue of Buddha. The girl's finger quietly left Su Xing's forehead. A red light passed by that slender white finger. "You are a person not of this world." The girl said. "What world? This place's myriad worlds? I am not." Su Xing answered, feeling this woman probably had been sealed by Chao Gai. Chao Wuhui truly was abnormal. Such a beautiful, graceful and cute beauty had been shut inside the pagoda. He would have to ask her properly when he returned. How could Su Xing have known? If Chao Gai learned that this woman had surprisingly inserted herself into the heaven-earth dark yellow thousand pagoda, she probably would have gloomily vomited blood. The girl did not say anything. If Su Xing carefully looked at her, he would notice that reflected in his counterpart's blue eyes was not this scene, but earth instead. A long while after, Su Xing finally felt his body recover a bit of energy. Although sleeping on the girl's soft thighs was very pleasant, Su Xing did not forget his objective at all. He rose and thanked the girl. "I'm called Su Xing. Could you tell me your name?" The girl gracefully stood. Su Xing originally felt that hero star Wan Yue was already the most elegant woman he had ever seen. Regardless of her figure or manners, they were all excellent, giving off an eminent and unapproachable feeling. But only when he saw this woman did he discover that there was someone who surprisingly competed against even Hua Wanyue. The girl's elegance possessed a kind of indescribable signature. No matter her temperament or build, she honestly could not best Hua Wanyue. But when she stood there, she seemed to be the center of this world, making him unable to overlook her. Every one of her movements showed meticulous care, but each of her actions were like nature itself, as if she was that most beautiful moment when the queen of the night bloomed. Could a girl like this actually have been tamed by Chao Gai? Su Xing curiously used seeing clearly, but as if she was a mystery itself, he was completely unable to see anything. "Call me Mojia," the girl said. "Mojia? Is that really your name?" Su Xing felt this name was honestly too special. Seeing the girl did not object, Su Xing tacitly assented. No matter what, she should count as his savior. "What is this place?" "The 7-story pagoda." "As expected." "Who are you? Why would you be trapped by Chao Gai in this pagoda?" Su Xing asked. "This highness is sleeping." "What?" Su Xing briefly did not understand. "Do you wish to go find Guaning?" Fang Mojia said. But this 7-story pagoda was too strange. Su Xing was completely lost right now. "Do you know a lot?" Su Xing was somewhat puzzled towards this mysterious girl. Could she be a trial in the 1000 Buddha pagoda? This highness has seen her before. "Where is Guaning?" Su Xing immediately asked. Fang Mojia closed her eyes and fell backwards. Su Xing promptly caught her. "What's the matter with you?" "This highness is weary," her head nodded off. The girl surprisingly fell asleep just like this. Just like the most beautiful moment after the queen of the night bloomed, silence quickly resumed. Su Xing was even less able to see through her. Seeing the girl doze off like this without any vigilance, she did not fear him in the slightest. Su Xing was unable to ignore her. Thinking, he bucked his shoulders, placing Fang Mojia on his back. A very soft sensation pricked him. Only then did he notice that this girl's overwhelming mysterious temperament made him overlook the young woman's full breasts and gorgeous figure. Fang Mojia slept very deeply, her long eyelashes slightly trembling, not at all minding that she was sleeping on the back of a man. Su Xing felt this girl actually was innocuously adorable. He knowingly smiled and carried her on his back swiftly towards the endless pagodas. On his back. The girl's eyes slightly opened and then slowly closed once again. Liked it? You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.